The Dow up 49 points at the closing bell to 22,014 after topping 22K for the first time just after the opening bell today, fueled by positive earnings reports. The president's backing a change in focus for legal immigration in the U.S.
The RAISE Act prevents new migrants and new immigrants from collecting welfare and protects U.S. workers from being displaced.
A proposed merit-based system using points to get green cards and favoring immigrants who speak English with certain job skills, limiting the current focus on family ties.
We're putting American families first on immigration. We're saying our compassion, first and foremost, is for struggling American families, and our focus is on the national interest. That is a major event.
White House advisor Stephen Miller, the issue leading to a heated exchange a short time ago with one reporter over what the Statue of Liberty stands for. Critics, including Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, say the plan could increase illegal immigration. After signing a new sanctions bill into law, the president called it flawed and clearly unconstitutional. The bill punishes Russia, Iran, and North Korea for aggressive and destabilizing behaviors. But it also limits the president's authority to lift sanctions without Congress.
There's no question that there isn't support for the principles of the bill. It's maybe just some of the process.
White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders moments ago, the Russian prime minister says the sanctions end hopes for better ties with the Trump administration. The Pentagon confirming 2 U.S. troops killed in the suicide bombing of a convoy in Afghanistan.
Pentagon spokesman says there have been 9 U.S. service members killed in action this year, equaling the total killed in all of last year in just over 7 months.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson at the Pentagon, the Taliban claiming responsibility. Fair and balanced.
For me, it was the big S-Class from the 90s. Beautiful. My friend's dad had one.
The SL. All of the SLs. I've been watching those since I was a kid.
I think the 1971 SC was the first Mercedes that just blew me away.
Everyone wants the original, the authentic. And with a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you can experience the iconic luxury, unparalleled safety, and performance of Mercedes-Benz at a price you can afford. But just remember, only your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer has the skilled technicians to certify that your pre-owned vehicle is up to Mercedes-Benz standards. And only your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer offers an unlimited mileage warranty, so you can drive with confidence as far as you'd like for up to 5 years. There are pre-owned vehicles, and then there are Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned vehicles. Visit the certified pre-owned sales event going on now through August 31st and receive 2 years of complimentary prepaid maintenance and special financing available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
People remain unaccounted for after an explosion and partial building collapse at a private school in Minneapolis.
This all started, apparently, a contracting firm was in the school. They were working on the boiler system. Something happened with the gas line. A warning went out to the teachers and staff and administrators who were in the building at the time. Also, the basketball program in the nearby gymnasium. They were alerted to the smell of gas. People began leaving this building when it exploded. A concussive blast that has absolutely ripped up a huge hole in this upper campus here at Minnehaha Academy.
Paul Bloom with Fox TV affiliate KMSP in Minneapolis. 9 people reported injured. A freight train derailment under investigation in a small town in Pennsylvania near the Maryland border, where CSX says some of the cars did catch fire. There were hazardous materials involved. It's prompted hundreds of evacuations. The nation's opioid epidemic leads to a pilot program in the Justice Department aimed in part at prevention by cracking down on illegal prescriptions.
In Ohio's capital, Attorney General Jeff Sessions said the rate of addiction-related deaths is staggering.
On average, one person in Columbus dies of a drug overdose every day.
Sessions says 12 federal prosecutors will fan out across the nation to states where addiction rates are high and deadly. Their goal, to target scams and healthcare fraud.
Using data to identify and prosecute key individuals that are contributing to this opioid epidemic.
Sessions says more than 52,000 Americans died of drug overdoses in 2015, with rates continuing to increase. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Recapping the record day on Wall Street, the Dow crosses and closes above 22K for the first time. The S&P up about a point. The NASDAQ down a fraction. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Hello.
Whoa!
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast.
I thought you were banned from the building.
Yeah. This hasn't gone well, the breakup. It's getting ugly. So
I
just
gave you a key? You still have a key?
Took a 2-day break away from Juan because he and I were having creative differences.
Yeah, this isn't going to be well. I mean, this could be a long month.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you cool all summer long. Call 866-EXPERTS or you can visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 66. Thursday, thunderstorms in the afternoon, high 84, low of 59. Friday, a high of just 68 degrees,
wow.
Overcast, low of 54. Warms up into the mid to high 70s over the weekend. Right now, mostly cloudy, 87, feels like 91 in Champaign-Urbana.
Got it. 6 outs recorded, 5 on strikeouts for Lester early. Deep left center for John Lester. He got it! A home run!
Oh, they really got to dance.
Lester!
Oh, my. We have a winner in the Lester Lackey Home Run Derby.
There it is, number 2,000 for John Lester.
It was cool, man. Like, I mean, that's something that you can't really describe. I mean, it's a cool feeling. But like I told you, I get paid to pitch. So at the end of the day, it's awesome. It's great, and I'm not downplaying it, but I'd rather take the win over that.
How about that, huh? Cubs explosion. Highlights courtesy Comcast Sportsnet. John Lester, you hear from him. 2,000 strikeouts now in his career, or he hit the 2,000 mark, and then he homers last night. Doesn't it seem like everything's starting to work now in Chicago?
Yeah, I think so. It's such a weird game for John Lester. He gets those two things, and it doesn't even last 5 innings.
That's crazy.
But it doesn't matter because the Cubs' bats explode. 16-4 win. The Cubs are on fire. They're the Cubs we thought they were going to be. They just needed that all-star break.
They needed that. They needed some news of Jose Quintana, I think, to get them rolling. It is the Tay and J Show. I'm Lon Tay. He is Jeremy Warner.
Setting aside our differences for at least a couple more weeks.
If we have bragged about being professionals for how many years? I mean, if we can't just set aside our differences and do a show.
That's right.
And let everybody out there know that, we don't like each other, but we can at least work together. We kid, of course.
We're actually going to make eye contact on like Mike and Mike.
Yeah, do they even look at each other?
They didn't. I think they're starting to get past it.
Now you're just like, all right, guys, we're like 48 or 50 years old.
Yeah, they're both Greeny's high 40s, Gold's early 50s, right?
It's like, can we just understand that we're going to move on from this and make it happen?
But we're going to talk a lot of Illini football
I cannot
today.
wait.
I've been there the last 2 days. Now it's just been helmets and no shoulder pads. So even Harry Black would tell you don't learn a lot about the team. But you get to see what these freshmen look like.
Yep.
You get to see the personnel groupings that the Illinois staff is going with early, which always doesn't mean everything. Because Justice Williams was repping with the first-team defense all during fall training camp, and then all of a sudden Trey Watson's the starter at the beginning of the year. So it doesn't mean everything, but you're starting to see a little bit of what this Illinois staff envisions for its personnel, at least starting the thing. So we'll talk some offense, we'll talk some defense, and we'll break this down. You'll hear from Hardy Nickerson and Mike Fair later on. I did some interviews with them, so you'll hear a little bit about them on the defense. I think we focus so much on this offense and what it could be because it's exciting. It's going to be different. But the defense is the thing you might worry about actually a little bit more this year.
Well, and I'm anxious to hear as we roll along, and we'll probably do this around 3:30, if a certain freshman is even on campus. I think that's kind of been a little bit of a under the radar storyline, if you will. And now maybe I'm starting to worry about this, but maybe he's here. So we'll get to that. We'll kind of tease that until 3:30 when we roll along. Let's talk some baseball right now. The Chicago Cubs. I know you're interested to talk Cardinals baseball.
I am. I know you guys have talked some Cubs here recently.
Yes, we have.
Because the Cubs have made moves.
Yes.
I mean, the Wilson Avila move, I love.
Brilliant.
I mean, it cost you Heimer Candelario.
Brilliant.
Right? And who wasn't going to play for you.
No.
You added your backup catcher that you needed after you cut Montero. And you had the reliever for a year and a half. I mean, he's just going to take the closer job most likely next year because you probably won't re-sign Wade Davis. Maybe you do. But you had a reliever for a year and a half who's really good. They did what great teams with a window do. You go out and you make aggressive moves like this. I know the farm system's depleted of top prospects now, but it's about winning World Series now, and Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer are doing that.
Yeah, and it's hard to make those deals unless you have a farm system, and obviously the Cubbies have done that, and here we go. I mean, this is a 5-year window at least. I'm throwing out an arbitrary number, but there is a window there that the Cubs not only can win at a high level, but maybe win a World Series again. And I think that's what they're doing. They're taking the steps to understand what do we need to compete with the Dodgers, the Nationals when it comes to that time.
Austin, what were they at the All-Star break? 5 games back? 4.5 games back?
The Cubs were 5.5 out of the NL Central.
So
wow.
They've gained 8 games.
That's unreal.
Since the All-Star break.
That's unreal.
That's
in
amazing.
that short amount of time.
That's amazing that they've gained that much that quickly, but we always knew the talent was there.
Yes.
And now it's starting to show on the field.
And it's interesting to me because I had this thought driving in, and we'll talk some Cardinals as well. I had this thought coming in that do we look at the Cubs now due to that first half? Do we look at them and do you honestly put them in the category with the Dodgers and even maybe the Nationals?
I do with the Nationals for sure.
Okay.
I mean, what the Dodgers are doing is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
They've won 40 of 46. They didn't need you, Darvish, but they went and got him anyway.
Right.
And it didn't cost them one of their top prospects.
They've won 40 of 46.
They've won 40 of 46 games.
That is sick.
Right.
I mean, that is, I did not know that. I knew that they were like, 78-30 or something crazy record-wise. They're kind of doing what the Cubs did last year.
They are 75-31.
Wow.
They've won 9 straight. They have a 7.08 winning percentage. They have a 14.5 game lead on the Rockies and a 15 game lead on the Diamondbacks. Both those teams would be in the wild card right now.
Unbelievable. That's how they're just dominating.
Those are good teams,
That's
and they
crazy.
lead them by 14.5 and 15 games.
It is crazy. And again, now we'll have to see it. And, of course, they've got Kershaw out now for a couple of months, or about a month and a half now. I think he's been out for about a half a month. So that'll be interesting when he comes back rested.
Yeah, they've this has all happened since June 7th. They're 40-6.
Wow.
ESPN Stats and Info says every other team has at least 18 losses in that span.
And they've lost 6 times.
They have 12 fewer losses than every other team.
That is just sickening. And when you do that, and I agree with you, I think the Dodgers, because of what they're doing, are on that pedestal right now in especially the National League. I know Houston was off to a great start early. They've kind of succumbed to a little bit of that lately.
Can we bring them up?
Yeah.
The Houston Astros.
Yes.
I've been saying this
Why
since
didn't they do anything?
June.
I know you have.
Their big move at the deadline is Francisco Liriano. Now, maybe that can work.
Yeah.
When the White Sox won the World Series, their big move was adding Jeff Blum.
Yeah.
Ended up winning Game 3 of the World Series for them.
Those guys sometimes do it.
But they didn't need it.
No.
I'm not saying the Astros needed to make a move, but if you want to just improve your chances by 1%
right.
or 2%, they have the farm system to do that. And short one here, Lon, Dallas Keuchel, the ace of that staff, was asked about the Astros not making any big moves. He had some interesting things to say.
Your thoughts on the deadline and what the Astros did and maybe what they weren't able to do?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, disappointment is a little bit of an understatement. I feel like a bunch of teams really bolstered their rosters for the long haul and for a huge playoff push, and us just kind of staying pat was really disappointing to myself. I know a lot of the guys feel like we can win in here, and that's a pretty accurate statement, and that's why we built such a great lead. But I think when it comes down to it, it's going to be we're going to win for each other, and that's it.
So you think the team, as it stands now, is good enough to win the World Series, or at least go to the World Series?
I think we have a good enough team to go to the World Series, and we had that. We've pretty much had the same team since spring training, so that was the motto in spring training. We knew we were going to be good, and now that we didn't really do too much at the deadline, it's going to be in clubhouse kind of vibe the rest of the year.
What do you think? Will the team kind of rally around this? And I mean, maybe the front office believes you're good enough to win now, or how do you think you'll view it as a whole going forward?
Well, we obviously believe in ourselves, and we believe we're good enough to win now and get to the World Series. It's just good teams can always be great, and great teams can always be legendary. So at the end of the year, we want to be the only ones left, and it's just a little disappointing for sure.
That's
what a statement there.
Those are some big words. I mean, but they're honest.
Yeah,
and
they are.
If I'm in the Astros clubhouse, I'm feeling that way too. And that's the other side of some of these moves. And I think we're seeing it with the Cubs. They're, as much as we talk about stats and analytics, these guys are human.
Right.
And I'm a stats guy when it comes to evaluating players, but there's a human side to baseball that we all know. You mix the two together and you have something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Theo Epstein's move to go get Jose Quintana is let's go win another World Series. Boom. That boosts that clubhouse.
There's no doubt.
Now you see what the Astros clubhouse is
the other
like.
way.
Even
That is
if
interesting.
that's just a couple guys.
Right.
In that clubhouse, they're like, wait, we didn't do anything?
Well, and that's interesting to me. I don't know how to think about that.
Because Lunau could sit there and go, well, I just think our team's good enough.
Yeah.
But the Astros see all these other teams that they're going to compete for a World Series with making these moves to better themselves, and they're sitting there just like, oh, we're fine, or we want to keep this farm system together. They have one of the best farm systems in baseball. I said it all along. Jose Quintana is exactly what they need, and they have more prospects than the Cubs to go get them, but they're keeping these prospects.
That is interesting.
Because they think they're going to, this is your window.
Right, exactly.
And Theo Epstein showed last year, yeah, we got all these prospects. That's nice that we could be competitive for 7-8 years or whatever it is. I want to win World Series.
Yes.
And at some point, you got to sacrifice a little bit of the future to win now. And getting a frontline starter like Jose Quintana
would have been huge.
Would have made them the no doubt favorite in the American League. Now you see the Red Sox gaining ground. The Yankees are playing well. Cleveland's playing well. So that AL, it seems like the Astros are coming back down to the pack because they're not making those kind of moves.
And it's interesting in the sense that because I read something from Lunau that basically said, hey, it was frustrating. Like we tried and tried and tried and it was frustrating. Did he? I'm sure he did. I don't there's no doubt in my mind.
They tried, but if you're not willing to give up a good prospect
to go get it, maybe you have to give a little bit more than you want to try to win it this year. Maybe he thinks that he's got the kind of team that can really be dominant for the next 5 or 6 years with these prospects. Maybe that's what he's thinking, but yet that's fine to be dominant like the Braves were for that long. They won one World Series.
Yeah.
Now they won one. That's huge.
And they won it early.
But when you think back to that, people my age that think back and you just think about how dominant the Braves were every year, but yet they have one World Series to show for it. So it'll be interesting to see. And it is interesting to me, and I do appreciate the honesty.
Just Sonny Gray and
right.
I don't even know if but Quintana was the guy.
He was.
They had to give up Kyle Tucker and likely Francis Martez for him. And they didn't do it.
No.
And the Cubs stepped up and gave up Eloy Jimenez and Dylan Cease because they're like, we're in the business of winning championships right dang now.
Absolutely.
The Astros aren't willing to pay that price, and those guys could have been really, really good, but you could have had Quintana most
Yes,
likely.
you could have. Well, we'll see who laughs laugh, right? Or laughs last. I mean, I guess at the end, and maybe the Astros stay pat and they still get it done. It'll be interesting to see. And I guess there is a sense of, all right, they believe in us. So let's go do it. We did it the first half, but it's funny how sometimes that first half of baseball will drive you to do things. The Cubs were playing, I don't want to say bad, but they, according to how they can play, they were playing terrible the first half of the season, and that kind of motivated them to definitely do something. And you're right when you said that about Quintana. I don't know if that's the number one reason, but man, after that All-Star break, and that happened during the All-Star break, they have come out on fire. And of course, Quintana's first start was so good. When he struck out, 10? He was unhittable. He hit through like 3 hits. And that alone probably gave the spark that the Cubs need. And now you look at them and they're on fire. But it'll be interesting, and this is kind of where I want to start. When I compare the Cubs right now, it's easy to look at their record and understand they're only 2.5 games up in a division that's not very strong. And you look at what the Dodgers are doing, you look at what the Nationals are doing, and you sit there and say, all right, well, maybe the Cubs aren't the team this year. I'm anxious to see just second half alone what happens with the Dodgers, what happens with the Cubs, what happens with the Nationals, because the Cubbies...
On the Nationals, Strasburg hurt.
Yeah, well, right.
Scherzer just got hurt.
Which is not good, but they've got such a lead that they're going to be able to limp in.
I mean, it's setting up where it's going to be Nationals-Cubs first round.
But wouldn't you rather be hot going in, right? And that's where if the Cubs can fire off a great second half and go in hot, we'll see what happens. And, of course, the Dodgers are one of those teams that I'm still waiting in the playoffs to see them actually do it.
I know you guys have talked a lot of Cubs the last couple of days, and the Astros didn't make any moves. I find that a mistake.
Yes.
But the Cardinals, I can understand why they didn't make a move.
Right.
But I'm sure they are more frustrated than anybody that they couldn't, Because, one, I don't think they have much of value to other teams except for Lance Lynn.
I don't either.
And I don't think you see what the price for rentals was.
Right.
They're going to get anything. I think they want to keep him on the team.
I do too.
I think he's a long-term guy.
I do too.
And they want to make sure that, hey, he's happy here. We don't trade him away so he likes something else. So I can understand why they sat there and did nothing. But it's just like, man, there's going to be a long second half if they don't go on a run because you're just waiting for the offseason for them to make those big moves.
That's exactly right.
That's what they're in. They're just in a holding pattern for this year.
I mean, their pitching staff is what, number 3 in the NL?
Yeah.
Their starting rotations rank 3rd in the NL with regards to just all the overall stats.
Like, I know Carlos Martinez gave up 3 runs in 5 innings last night, and he gave up the 3 early.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's still is that a quality start?
It's not a quality start.
Okay.
But, I mean, he was pretty good last night.
You got to get to 6, right? But no, you're right. I mean, you still have a chance to win a game with Carlos Martinez. And I keep harping on the fact of, is he ready to be an ace? Is he really ready to take that role? And he's shown me enough this year that he's not quite there.
Yeah, is he a top 8 pitcher? I don't know.
Right.
He's an elite pitcher.
But I'm glad to have him.
Yeah,
and I'll be glad to have him for the next 5 years.
He's one of the top 20, top 15.
But it will be interesting for the Cardinals. And the one thing, their offense just cannot score runs. And since the All-Star break, that offense has been anemic. And you see what happens. I mean, they had the one big game against, Colorado. But other than that, it's just been a dogfight trying to score more than 3 runs.
That's why I wanted Kevin Wheeler on today. 101 ESPN. I wanted to say, where's this franchise going? Because the Yadi Molina comments, right? Mike Matheny, he's probably not going anywhere.
No.
But there's a lot of unrest with the fan base with him. Guys like Randall Grichuk.
Right.
I mean, what's his future? Steven Piscotty.
Yeah, it sounds like they dangled him and Grichuk.
These were the guys they wanted to kind of, build the young core around, and Colton Wong. Are these guys, are they going to have a huge change, or is it going to be subtle in the offseason? I think they got to make the one big move for the big bat.
Without a doubt.
Giancarlo Stanton makes sense if he's on the market, but can they get that price? And then you have Lance Lynn kind of hanging over your head going into the offseason.
You said it best when I walked in, and you said, I'm anxious to talk about the Cardinals because this team is interesting to me because they're not the team everybody's jealous of anymore. And it's true. Yeah. And you look at a Grichuk, you look at a Piscotty, you look at guys like that really have not they have not really burst onto the scene and done exactly. Wong's the perfect example of guys that they used to do. Guys used to do that. And these guys, while not bad by any means,
they're major league players.
They're major league players, but they haven't quite made the step the Cardinals thought, and it scares you. It scares me as a Cardinals fan because you think, all right, if that's our future, then our future doesn't look very bright right now.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Even when you had Matt Adams.
Yeah.
He's a major league player. And he's having a nice little run with the Braves.
Right. He just never made that next step.
But is he a core player?
That's correct.
I don't know outside of their pitching staff, Matt Carpenter.
They don't really have core guys.
Yadi Molina and Carson Kelly, who are the other core guys.
And that's going to be interesting. Matheny and Yadi both signed through 2020. And now you got this little Instagram social media riff.
Weird.
I'm like, come on, man. This is just one of those.
That's what happens to losing teams.
You're right. And you're right. You know what I feel like? I feel like we're on the Titanic.
Welcome to the White Sox world when we had Robin Ventura as manager.
Somebody grab one of those rafts because I'm going to need it. I'm not going to be floating with the sharks. I mean, that's what I feel like with regards to the Cardinals right now. They somehow have to just kind of muddle their way through this, get to the offseason, and see if they can make some moves.
We're going to talk a lot of Illini football the rest of this hour. We'll break down the offense coming up, and then the final segment of this hour, we'll talk about the defense, what I've seen at training camp, who's standing out, the position battles to watch as well. We'll talk about Illini basketball recruiting as well. Joe Hendrickson, City Suburban Hoops Report, will join us at 5:25. Break down the evaluation periods are over. Now starts official visit season. Where Illinois, they haven't started this 2018 class yet, right? A lot of other schools are. It's time to get these kids on campus and to get some commitments. We'll talk to Joe about the in-state kids. If you want to weigh in, you can call the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line, or you can text the Cheap Hour text line, the same number, 217-359-2255. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Tay and J Show. I tweet at Jay Warner Scout.
At Lonte, ESPN. See you.
Download the WSJK app. Watch us live on YouTube. Just search Tay and J Show. Get our podcast at ESPNCU.com or find us on iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance. So we have 7 interns today.
7.
They just kept walking in. They multiply.
I heard you come. I was down the hallway visiting.
Who gets the interns in this divorce?
Oh,
I mean, I got Austin.
Yeah, you got Austin. I get Harry. Yeah. I mean, that's already been.
We've already split those two up.
So now we have to kind of start working from there.
That's like splitting up brothers, though.
I know.
Look at those two.
Look, they're like sitting next to each other. I'm a little ticked at them today because they both have the cool chairs today.
Will you guys be sad in this divorce? Like, are you guys going to pick sides? You obviously have.
I wonder, do you even care?
You're separating the Eagles fans.
That's right.
Oh, that's right.
We'll have an Eagles feel on each show.
I still think, though, Austin's going to be okay with it because you guys can't hear it, but a majority of the time in here, all I'm doing is making fun of the Cubs or even just making fun of his idea that the Eagles can be good.
You're just an antagonist, aren't you, Harry?
And I make fun of the Flyers in hockey.
There you go. I wish we had a silent mic in there that they didn't, in other words, they didn't know about, that it actually transmitted on some other station. That would be interesting to hear.
We got to get the Interns podcast back up at some point.
Yes, we do.
All right, so we got Harry Black, Austin Berkland, Maddie Bunton. Did she say it's her last day?
It is her last day.
We got
Jacob Diaz just popped that right out of nowhere yesterday. He shakes my hand. He goes, "Man, I'm out of here." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know."
Big job at the DI covering the football
exactly
team.
right. So,
all right, Jack Long, Nathan DeHaan,
right?
Trevor
Valise is here.
Did I miss some? I can't.
Is David here?
David Morrow.
David Morrow is here. Is that it?
That's 7.
My goodness.
What are you guys doing in there?
I don't. At least
I don't know what to do. We should ask Maddie later. What did you learn?
She made cookies, by the way, yesterday.
Oh, I missed the cookies.
You missed cookies. Listen, hey, you got to be here to get it. You got to be here to get rewarded. All right, 359-2255. I've got a lot of questions about Illinois football. Only, day 3 of training camp. So we're not going to learn a lot, but I think a lot of Illini fans are interested in a certain few things that are happening, including one freshman that we'll find out next. It is the Tay and J Show.
Baxter's Grill in Champaign serves up classic American cuisine made with the freshest ingredients. And now, all summer long, you can enjoy Baxter's delicious food and ice-cold drinks outside in their spacious outdoor bar and patio. In addition to their signature appetizers and entrees, Baxter's has happy hour specials 6 days a week, including half-price bottles of wine on Tuesdays and $2 Coronas and $4 margaritas on Thursdays, along with live music on Thursdays and Saturdays. Baxter's American Grill, 100 Trade Center Drive in Champaign.
The same people you trust after a fire or water disaster will also keep your house clean year-round. That's because the specialists at ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County are trained in every category of cleaning, from mold remediation to the cleaning of carpets, upholstery, air ducts, and crawl spaces. They're here to help protect every square foot of your most valuable possessions. ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County, or visit them at servproofchampaignUrbana.com. That's the bright green cleanup team at ServPro of Champaign-Urbana and South Champaign County. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
Sometimes, what you want most from your car is nothing. No headaches, no surprises, no anxiety when it's late at night and you're on some distant freeway in a thunderstorm. That bit of nothing is everything. And that's what you get when you purchase a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz from your authorized dealer. Because only an authorized Mercedes-Benz dealership has the skilled technicians to certify that your pre-owned vehicle is up to Mercedes-Benz standards. Only Mercedes-Benz can back their certified pre-owned vehicles with an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 5 years, with roadside assistance included. It's time to experience confidence that's as unlimited as the warranty. Visit the certified pre-owned sales event now through August 31st, and you'll receive 2 years of prepaid maintenance and special financing available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. You've waited long enough.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
When you hit the brakes in time but the guy behind you doesn't, get it to Gerber. When your teenager puts the dent in Stu Dent Driver, get it to Gerber. Gerber Collision and Glass. Call 877-7-GERBER. Gerber comes highly recommended.
This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. Are you getting the attention you deserve from your broker? When you partner with Provident, you get an advisor who stays focused on you and your family. We work for you. Contact us today to schedule a consultation. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com. Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network.
Provident, partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
It's another day. Bob returns after helping the Franklins.
Hey, Bob, how's it going?
I feel bad. Rooter guys lost another one.
Oh, let me guess. You did another no-clog guaranteed sewer replacement.
Yeah, I do feel good knowing we fixed their problem permanently for 40% less than conventional methods.
Got sewer problems at your home or business? Call Stevens Underground Solutions. We'll see what's going on and give you multiple options for a permanent solution. Stevens Underground Solutions, 202-3385. We'll get you flowing again.
All right, it's the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio, 93.5. Lante, Jeremy Warner. We're going to talk some Illini football. Don't forget Kevin Wheeler at 4:05. We'll ask him about these St. Louis Cardinals. Can they make any kind of a run in the second half? And I want him to be honest. And I think the answer is going to be no.
Is the talent there?
Yeah, right. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I mean,
No.
they struggle.
Can they
to
just
find-
bring up the Memphis Cardinals lineup?
Right. I mean, DeYoung's been what?
I mean, DeYoung, Bader,
These guys have been their best offensive spark of the whole season. That's unreal. And Joe Henriksen, 525. We'll talk some Illini Illini basketball recruiting with Joe Henriksen. So Illinois football chatter is next after.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkman with the 330 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. Life insurance is one of those subjects that make people want to change a subject rather than admit they probably don't have enough. Find out how the benefits of life insurance can live on for your family. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood in Champaign at 217-367-1105. Oh, it's on. We have a date for Bragging Rights 2017, and it will be on December 23rd from the Scott Trade Center. Mark Smith and the Illini look to take 5 straight from the Michael Porter, Jonte Porter, and Jeremiah Tillman Missouri-led team.
What day is that? Like a Wednesday, or do we even know?
I did not bring a calendar with me.
I forgot to. Yeah, that's. I'll check. I'll effort that on my cell phone. You can do that now, kids.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll Google that.
Call the Google machine.
I'll Google that.
Holy home runs, Batman. The Cubs offense, after scoring only 7 runs in Milwaukee, the Cubs bats exploded for 16 runs and a 16-4 win over the D-backs, including 5 homers. Baez, Happ, and Big John Lester went deep once, with Anthony Rizzo homering twice. John Lester pitched 4 innings, striking out 9, and that pushed him to the 2,000 strikeout mark. He is only the 25th left-hander in MLB history with 2,000 career strikeouts. The Cubs and Diamondbacks play tonight, and it's Godley versus Arrieta. First pitch is at 7:05, listed on US 105.9. The Cardinals couldn't get past the 3-run first inning that Carlos Martinez gave up. The Cardinals were only able to muster up 1 run in each of the 4th and 5th innings. The two teams lock up at 7:05 and can be heard on ESPN CU 93.5. Luke Weaver versus Brent Suter is the pitching matchup, and Andrew Miller has been put on the 10-day DL with a right knee patella tendonitis. And that, my friends, is the SportsCenter update.
All right, Austin, I found it out. If it is December 23rd for the Bragging Right game, that is a Saturday. So I wonder, no time announced, I assume, on that. So we'll see if that's a night game and or maybe an afternoon game. But I know a lot of Illini fans and obviously Missouri fans who didn't show up last year enjoy that Saturday game for sure to watch Illinois and the Tigers.
It's a cool event, and I think it's going to be the cooler.
All right, yeah. That means Christmas is on a Monday.
I mean, you have Jeremiah Tillman.
Oh, that storyline.
Michael Porter.
Yes.
Right. I mean, this is going to be, and Mark Smith.
Yeah, Mark Smith.
Right. I mean, this is going to be revved up a little bit.
And Konzo, of course, who, I mean, he hasn't really done anything to upset Illinois, but he grabbed Jeremiah Tillman, so I guess in that sense he has. But it's not like there's been any words said that would, although he kind of, I don't know, didn't he have a salvo one? He had kind of a shot.
I mean, he was the one leaking it out there that Illinois offered and he declined, which Illinois and him talked some money to set up something if they did want to make a deal, but then Whitman was able to get Brad Underwood. He said, that's my guy.
Well, this will be fun. At least there is some intrigue back with the Bragging Rights game with Illinois and Missouri. Now, Illinois-Missouri still not in football.
Though Lovey would like to do it.
Yes, he
Whitman would like to do it, but with schedules so far advanced in football, which I think is dumb.
Right.
I understand why they do it so they can lock it in, but it's so far in advance that it might not be for 6-7 years, and who knows who's coaching who at that point.
Exactly. Lovey may never even face Missouri as they go along. All right. Speaking of Lovey, that is training camp day 3 today. They had to move inside yesterday. There's a lot of questions I have about this, including Ricky Smalling. And maybe I'm the one that's maybe undervaluing this or under the radar, but the last couple of days. It's not under
the radar. Fans are freaking out.
I was going to say, and I'm starting to freak out because you told me today he's still not on campus.
No.
So do we know what's going on? Is this something that is maybe a personal issue with Ricky?
It is personal. He wasn't at practice yesterday. There's no official word from Illinois. There was always some concern with Ricky academically. Some people outside of Illinois thought he might have some issues getting into Illinois. The Illini seem to think he has no issues academically, and they said he's cleared to play. He was on campus for the summer, taking classes here at Illinois, but it does seem like a personal issue at this point. There doesn't seem to be much concern from Illinois' side.
Fair enough.
They think he will be on campus shortly, that once this issue is resolved, he'll be a part of the team. That still remains to be seen. I don't know exactly what's going on here, but I can just tell you from the Illinois side, there doesn't seem to be a lot of concern
that's good.
That he will be on campus. They know a lot of fans are freaking out about this. They don't seem to have a lot of concern.
Well, he's definitely one of the guys you target as a fan in terms of wanting to watch play. Ricky Smalling, and I know you kind of said it last year that this kid could probably last year as a senior in high school play on that Illinois team last season because of the wide receiver core, but it will be interesting to see if Ricky's out there. Now, who's throwing to him? That is Chase Crouch. How does he look? And just shoulder pads and helmets.
Not even shoulder pads.
Not even shoulder pads. So how does Chase look, I guess, early on? What was your initial thought?
The best I've ever seen Chase Crouch throw was that Purdue game.
Yes.
Right? And I think it's like
10 of 14.
Yeah, it was 10 of 14. Yep. He was efficient. And I was like, I've never seen this Chase Crouch before. That's why I didn't think he would be very great coming into the game. But he obviously added the running element, ran for 100-something yards that game, passed for over 100 yards, and was efficient that way. He looked really good early on in the first practice in the 7-on-7. Looks like he and the receivers have spent a lot of time throwing together, which is not surprising. I mean, if you take this job seriously, which Chase does, you're going to spend a lot of time doing that. I've also noticed his delivery has improved. He used to have a long delivery where he kind of wound up like a pitcher.
Right.
Now it's get up and get it out.
Good.
It's a lot quicker of a delivery. He did not have a great day yesterday. The Illinois defense had about 5 interceptions yesterday, which is good if you're looking at it from a defensive side. But the bad side of it is Chase had about 4 of those. So he was thrown into double coverage a little bit too much. He's still got a lot to prove as a passer. We talk all about Chase Crouch.
Agree.
He's played 2 games.
Yes.
A lot of playing time in 2 games in his career. And one of them, he couldn't throw through much of it because he hurt his shoulder.
He was winged, yeah.
So he does not have a lot of passing experience. It's a big training camp for him. So I still have a lot of doubts of him as a passer, but he can make so many plays. He can do it, and I think he's going to make this offense more dynamic. But the takeaways, he's really got to keep down. It obviously hurt him against Purdue when he fumbled that snap.
Whatever we know, I mean, we don't know what he's going to be able to do, but we do know this. It's going to be a new look offense a little bit for Illinois because it's no longer Wes Lunt dropping back and throwing. It's more of Chase Crouch being able to get out. The one thing I'm interested to see about him early on this season is happy feet. I'm anxious to see when does he tuck and run?
Wes had it.
Yes, he did.
Right. Wes had too much happy feet, and then he run backwards.
And Chase understands that he's got the ability to run. So does he go to that too quick, or is he able to stay in that pocket, make the reads, and then if needed, run? Now, there's going to be some set plays, obviously, for him, as good of as an athlete he is to get out on the outside and run.
I'll run some option out of this.
I would assume that Lovey would or Garrick too, would like to limit the hits that Chase Crouch takes. So
that's a big part. He's got to be smart about the hits he takes.
So Jeff George is 2, Cam Thomas 3.
Jeff George is number 2. Obviously had some struggles last year. Did show some grit, showed some toughness in those games. Led him to a big win against Michigan State as well. So I think there's some X factor quality. I mean, obviously his dad, who was at practice yesterday.
Oh, that's cool.
He's got some. Jeff George Sr.'s there a lot.
Is he still with the mullet or no?
No.
Okay, all right.
Good shape. Jeff looks like he's a runner right now.
Awesome.
But Jeff George Jr., more of a pocket passer. He can move better than Wes Lunt. He's really got to improve his accuracy. That was way down last year. It's something he struggled with ever since he got here. But Cam Thomas is number 3, and Cam has shown. I think people who show up. I've heard a lot of people ask me, what position is he going to play?
Right.
What position is he going to end up playing? He's a quarterback, guys.
Okay.
He played for a bad high school team, And people always bring up, have you ever seen a quarterback at Illinois who's only won 2 varsity games his last 2 years? No, I haven't.
Right.
I also know he played on one of the worst rosters in the state.
Against some of the best teams in the state.
Yeah, when he could have transferred and gone to Homewood Flossmoor like a lot of his high school teammates, and that ended up being one of the best programs in the state.
Okay.
He has all the tools. He's got a strong arm. He's about 6'2", and he is an athlete. He is a great athlete, runs a 4.5 40. Wow. A lot of people compare him not only the way he plays, but the way he looks to Nathan Shieldhouse.
Okay.
And I've talked to Nate about Cam Thomas. He thinks he can be really, really good down the line.
Got it.
You know, he's a smart kid. He's grown a lot since he's gotten here, but he's going to need reps. And the good thing about this season for him, maybe not for Illinois, is that he's going to get a lot more reps than most true freshmen would.
That's a good call.
Because he's the number 3 quarterback.
Yeah, he's already up the depth chart.
Yeah.
Just because of that.
So he's
be interesting.
The mental aspect of the game, the accuracy, but he can make plays. I mean, he's a very athletic quarterback with a strong arm.
I don't care how smart you are, you're still swimming right now.
Yes.
When you're a freshman and you're learning this playbook and everything's coming at you at once. So that'll be the thing for Cam Thomas these are important days for everybody, but especially these freshmen. All right, running back. Speaking of freshmen, obviously we know Kendrick Foster, he burst onto the scene last year. Reggie Corbin shows some excitement.
Yeah, and Corbin's been out early. He's got a little nagging injury, so he hasn't participated much, except for like return games.
Fair enough. And we kind of know what we've got in those two. But there's some freshman running backs. Mike Epstein, of course, from Florida. You've got Dre Brown, who is he considered a freshman? No, he'd be a sophomore.
He's a
now.
redshirt sophomore.
Be a redshirt sophomore. But how about these freshman running backs? Who's kind of showing up?
Dre Brown is still getting back from injury.
Fair enough.
There's still some recovery left to go. So that's why I've said I don't expect a lot out of Dre Brown. 1, because he's still recovering. 2, they're adding 2 talented freshman running backs. And you don't know how Dre's going to bounce back from an injury, right? Is he going to be the same kind of athlete?
Sure.
So my expectations aren't that high for him compared to Mikey Dudek, right?
Okay, fair enough.
Mike Epstein's impressive.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's an athlete. He's versatile. He's got a burst.
Okay.
And I think he can push Reggie Corbin for some touches in that role.
Wow.
Because Reggie, even though he's elusive, he can shake somebody in a phone booth, he doesn't have that fourth gear.
I see what you're
saying.
saying.
He doesn't run away from people.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, he didn't have 50-yard touchdown runs, right?
Not like Kendrick. You're right.
He could have, but he doesn't have that extra gear. He's more of a 4.65 kind of guy, even though he can shake people. Mike Epstein's got a gear.
Okay.
And he's been pretty impressive. He's getting a lot of reps with the starters, with the second group, because they're limiting Kendrick a little bit. He doesn't need to take a lot of hits or anything like that. So Epstein's getting a lot of reps. I think he's going to play a lot. Ravon Bonner, there's not a lot of elite skill there, but he looks like the type of back, especially as he adds more strength, that in the third or fourth quarter ends up getting most of his yards.
I like it.
Like when Illinois wants to be this run-heavy, physical offense, Ravon Bonner doesn't do a lot of things that are sexy, but he's going to be one of those guys who gets 4 or 5 yards.
Gets you those tough yards, especially late in the game. I love that. Mike Epstein,
excites me.
Don't you just have this feeling, because he's the kid that stayed committed through 3 coaches, right?
640 days or something.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And you can just sense something special about this kid that 4 years down the road, we're going to be sitting here talking about Mike Epstein and what he's meant to this program. I hope that's the case. All right, wide receiver. We've talked about Ricky Smalling not being here yet, but you still have Malik Turner. Mikey Dudek is back. You've got Sam Mays. Who am I forgetting here?
Dominic Thieman's back from injury.
So, I mean,
Carmani Green's there.
Carmani Green. I forgot about Carmani. Carmani. Is this a strength? This has to be a strength, right, of this team?
I think the top. I think especially if and when Ricky gets here, I think the top of that group is really good. If Mikey's healthy, Malik Turner's awesome.
Yes.
I mean, he's a pro.
He's got a pro body.
And he can dominate practice at times. The other guy who's sticking out early on, I know everyone's looking at Mikey, is Sam Mays.
Okay.
He's making some tough catches over the middle. Looks like he's about ready to take that junior leap. And
I like it.
You had a 6'3" athletic guy. That could be important to this team, to add another position like that. Ricky, when he gets here, I think will be pretty good. Carmani's still pretty raw, but adds a speed factor to it. And Dominic Thiemann is a guy a lot of people overlook, but he was one of the more talented kids in the class of 2016. Was starting to come on late last year. He's had some nice moments in practice. And Kendall Smith, I think he's more of a straight line guy, but he's made some nice catches as well. Can be a deep threat. I don't know if he makes an immediate impact. It's a thin group of receivers. They have a lot of walk-ons at that position just to get reps. But I do think the top of it is a pretty talented group if they can stay healthy.
And it'll be fun to watch Mikey as he starts. I saw a couple of highlights. I think it was WAND that I saw it, of some slants. Now, granted, this is practice without pads, etc. But he looked good. He looked sharp. He ran away a little bit. That's good to see.
Mikey is tied for the fastest guy on this team.
Is he really?
Yeah. Can you guess who the other guy is? Might shock you.
The fastest guy on this team.
I was told of the 40s. These two tied, Mike Dudek and somebody else.
I want to think defense. How about
You're right there.
How about the linebacker that came in?
No.
Delshon
Phillips is not that fast.
No, he's not that fast. Okay, I was hoping. I was just sitting here hoping in the horseshoe that I'd see a linebacker fast.
I'm told Mikey ran 4.4 or below.
How about Mike Epstein? No. You said defense.
Might shock you because he's a little bit bigger.
I don't know.
Jalen Dunlap.
Really? See, he'd be the last guy.
I heard he ran a sub 4.4.
He wouldn't be the last guy. I'm sorry, Jalen. No. But he's so big, I wouldn't expect
big and
that.
Physical, right?
Holy cow.
When somebody told me that, I'm like, most people would say, oh, Mikey ran that fast. He's healthy, whatever it is. Jalen Dunlap at that size,
wow,
that runs that 40, he'll make some money.
He could, yes, he is. And we're going to talk about him next segment when we talk about the defense. Real quick, wrapping up the offense. I wanted to ask you about the offensive line. There are some guys that I'm expecting big steps from. Gabe Meganson being one of them. We know Nick Allegretti. But now all of a sudden you got some freshmen in the mix. What's the depth right now on this offensive line?
Scary.
Okay.
Really scary, especially after you lost Hojo Watkins and Darte Lee. Not that those guys were going to be starters this year, but they at least were bodies there.
Yes.
Yesterday, Christian DeLauro was held out of team drills. He had a hamstring injury about a month ago, and they're going to take it easy on him just so we can get him ready for the season. Again, this is the one guy who's had more than 25 starts in his college career that's on Illinois. So they're going to take it easy with him. But then they slid Gabe Meganson to that spot of tackle. From guard to tackle, and put in Alex Palczewski.
Oh, wow, the true freshman.
So you had two true freshmen
Boyd and
repping
Palczewski
with the first team yesterday, Larry Boyd and Alex Palczewski. And I got to say, they didn't look out of place.
Okay.
And now, I have to put into context.
Well, Boyd does because he's 6'6", 360.
He's ridiculous. He's a freak.
Yes.
He's a freak when it comes to strength and athleticism. The mental aspect of the game is going to catch up with him. And he's going against guys who haven't played.
Okay.
Like Sean Adesanya, who he's going up against a lot, hasn't played much college football. These freshman defensive linemen they're going against.
Right.
Yeah, he should be playing those guys pretty well.
Exactly.
Palczewski, though, is stronger than I thought he was going to be. He's physical, but the mental aspect of the game, Harry's probably told you, is just a difference. The huge leap from high school to college. That scares me if two true freshmen are in your top six. Right, and Adam Solomon, I thought would be possibly a starter. He looks like he's the seventh guy on the offensive line right now.
I guess Doug Kramer.
Kramer's starter at center. Nick Allegretti starting at guard. Gabe at guard. Christian DeLauro, and then Larry Boyd.
Verdarian Lowe, I guess, would be another depth guy.
He's nicked up. I don't expect him to play much this year.
Fair enough.
But Larry Boyd does look the part.
Okay.
He's got to get a lot of reps to get in condition.
Right.
He's got to get a lot of reps for the mental aspect of it. But I think he's going to start.
That's the breakdown on the offense. Good stuff there from Jeremy. 2 days at training camp he's watched. Today is day 3. When we come back about the defense, it's really the one thing we're not talking much about. It is focusing a lot of the offseason talk here on the offense. So when we come back, we'll talk about the D, including my guy, Trey Watson. I'm going to ask you about him. It is the Tay and J Show.
I'm Chris Drummond, owner of Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning. Since 2006, we've provided the best professional carpet cleaning in the Champaign-Urbana area. At Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning, we use the Rotovac carpet restoration system to assure the best carpet and upholstery cleaning service. For just $99, we offer carpet cleaning for 3 rooms or 4 rooms at $29.95 per room. Google Drummond Carpet Cleaning and see what our customers have been saying, or call for a free estimate at 217-722-3663. Drummond Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning. If we didn't clean it, it isn't clean.
Your 4-legged friends need protection too. Pet insurance from Pekin Insurance covers cats and dogs at least 6 weeks of age or older as an enhancement to your homeowner's coverage. Choose between $2,500 or $5,000 worth of coverage for a variety of pet health services. You can even take your pet to the veterinarian of your choice. Learn more at PekinInsurance.com or ask your local agent about how to protect your furry family members. For pet insurance that is beyond the expected, contact Pekin Insurance today.
Game Day Spirit, the official fan store of the Fighting Illini, Illini is now open at their new location at 1602 South Neal Street in Champaign. Stop in and check brand new styles at the corner of Neal and Kirby across from McDonald's. Game Day has new looks to head back to school for the men, women, juniors, and youth. Plus, Game Day Spirit has a huge selection of buy one, get one free Illini shirts for the whole family. Shop Game Day Spirit on Green Street at their new location at 1602 South Neal and online at GameDaySpirit.com. Go Illini.
You buy Community Credit Union for campus and community.
Celebrate with 0%, 50,000 bonus points, and 5 times points. The University of Illinois is celebrating 150 years, and the U of I Community Credit Union is getting in on the celebration with this exclusive offer. Now through September 30th, open a new Illini Visa and watch the advantages roll in, like 0%. That's right, 0% on all purchases until May 2018 for qualified applicants. Plus, everyone who opens a new Illini Visa rewards card could earn up to 50,000 bonus points. Use those points to purchase trips, gift cards, electronics, and more. But that's not all. All reward card holders will earn 5 times points on U of I purchases. Apply for your card today at IlliniCard.org. That's IlliniCard.org. Celebrate the University of Illinois and get rewarded, because no one cheers louder for the community than the U of I Community Credit Union.
U of I Community Credit Union for campus and community.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
All right, it's the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. I'm about ready to Snapchat a story. I think I know how to do it. Go to my
what's your
story.
Snapchat handle?
It's Ray Weaver 6.
Okay, so you can follow on there. He did something very impressive during the break, so you can go see that.
We have our basketball net, and I flipped the net. It's actually stuck up to where you'd have to get the ball to bring it down.
I think that's the first time anybody's ever done that.
Ever. I am fired up about this. All right, 359-2255. Talked about Illinois football offense training camp here. Early report. Obviously, only day 3 today. How about the freshmen? I saw a tweet from you today. It was either a tweet or a IlliniInquirer.com story about the freshman defensive line, and there are some athletes of these freshmen on that line.
Yeah, I got to watch them a little bit more up close yesterday, and they look the part. There are 7 freshman defensive linemen in this class, and they look the part.
Okay.
The difference is there's not a lot of wide bodies there. Well, there's no Akeem Spence butts.
Okay, there's no big butts
in that group.
All right.
I mean, Kenyon Jackson is a sophomore. He's got something like that. There's not a lot of 2-gap guys here, right? And in this defense, it's a 1-gap scheme, which means those guys can have 1-gap responsibility.
That's it.
They're more like Tommy Harris, like the Bears, or Gerald McCoy with the Bucks, than they are Ted Washington and Keith Traylor. Remember those guys with the Bears that just took up as many blockers as possible? No, these guys get upfield, beat their man, and try to make a play in the backfield. That's their job, and these guys are all built like that.
Fair enough.
Right now, in their second string, they have 3 true freshmen. Bobby Roundtree, Owen Carney, and Kendrick Green. I expect those 3 guys to play. Right now, you have Sean Adesanya, Jamal Milan, Tamir Oliver, and James Crawford in your first string. They're going to play 8 to 9 guys on that defensive line, and I expect at least 3 of them to be freshmen. We'll see if Larry Oladipo, Deion Pate can get in that group. I think Isaiah Gay is about a year or 2 away.
If you had to guess one freshman that might make an impact more than any other this year on the D-line, total guess.
I think I'd probably be between Roundtree and Kendrick Green.
Okay.
Green's at a position of depth a little bit for Illinois because that sophomore class of defensive tackles is pretty good. But Roundtree, I think, has a chance to get in that starting lineup because Adesanya looks the part. He's strong. He's athletic. But he hasn't played at all, so he's unproven. I think Roundtree has some skills. He needs to add more strength, but he's got the things Lovie Smith's looking for in a defensive end.
Roundtree, the kid that was going to go to Indiana and kind of flipped, right?
Well,
is that right?
It was between Illinois.
Or it was between there. Yeah, okay, that's my bad.
It was the first guy Lovie Smith visited last fall.
Okay, and he's on here and looks like he could help. All right, linebacker, you got my guy, Trey Watson from Florida. Who's going to be around him? Who's surrounding Trey Watson?
Yeah, Trey's moved from the weak side linebacker, which is a spot that always makes plays on Lovie Smith's defense. Think Derek Brooks, think Lance Briggs. Those guys make a lot of plays.
I can think about those.
They have a lot of free movement. They got to go sideline to sideline. He's moved to middle linebacker, which I think suits him. Both physically, he's a physical player, and he's a talkative, vocal player. So I think that fits him. Delshon Phillips is also repping at Mike linebacker right now. Around in the first string right now at the Sam linebacker, the strong side, is Julian Jones, who played well at the end of last year, had a great game against Michigan, is physical, athletic. He had 2 interceptions yesterday. It's time for him to do it.
He looks so athletic every year.
It's kind of the Caleb Day thing.
Right.
They look the part. Can they play the part consistently?
Good call.
At weak side right now, the staff really likes Jake Hansen.
Okay.
The sophomore who started one game last year, has some speed, has some athleticism. He's got that weak side role right now. So Delshon Phillips right now is in the second team.
That's interesting.
Might surprise some people, but he didn't play much in the spring because he was hurt.
Yeah.
He had a little bit of an injury.
Okay.
I do think eventually he's going to move to that weak side spot, but they're going to make him earn it.
Okay.
Because right now, the good thing about linebackers, you got some depth.
You do have some depth.
And you have some competition. Justice Williams, I think, can play if you need him to. Dele Harding, I think, can play if you need him to. So that's the good thing. You got a lot of competition there, a lot of solid options. But who are going to be the guys who consistently make plays for you, especially with a defensive line that has a bunch of questions?
You need some good offense, you need some good linebackers if you're going to have a good defense. How about secondary? We talked about Jalen Dunlap. He's back for his senior year, looking good. I think he had kind of a little bit of an up and down junior year. Hopefully he'll have a big senior year. Who's opposite him at that other cornerback?
Yeah, Jalen Dunlap, by the end of the year, was a shutdown corner.
Yes.
Teams threw away from him. One, because he was good. 2, because the other cornerback wasn't good.
Okay.
And I still have major questions about that. They've moved Cam Watkins from the second cornerback, the outside cornerback, to nickelback, which they use when teams have 3 wide receivers or more. And they want a playmaker there. They want somebody who can get some interceptions, be physical. I think Cam does fit that. But right now at that other corner, you got Frank Sumter, a redshirt sophomore who's kind of the last guy added in that class of 2015, I believe it was. He struggled last year, but he did have a better spring.
Okay.
I think he can be, at best, serviceable.
Okay.
Then Amari Hayes, the JUCO kid who's now a senior.
That's right.
He's long. He works hard.
Okay.
But he's skinny. He's not that physical. He struggled a lot last year when he was given a chance to start. I worry about this position a lot.
Fair enough.
But there are 2 talented freshmen.
Okay.
Tony Adams is almost back from the ACL injury. He's fast. He's added some strength. He looks a lot bigger. He's athletic. And then Nate Hobbs, who's been sick the last couple of days, they're really high on him.
Okay.
I think eventually a freshman's going to be starting at that position.
That'll be fun to watch, the level of those guys. All right, how about, real quick, safety? I mean, you've got the 2 kids back, right, that were young last year.
Green and Nelson, physical players, right?
So they're both back and both looking good as we go along. Punter. We got the kid from Australia. Is he making some noise? Blake Hayes, is that his name?
Yeah, Blake Hayes, the Aussie. I did an interview with him. Maybe we'll play that later this week.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
He's fun. He's a fun kid to talk to. So maybe we'll play that next hour.
Okay.
Interview with Blake Hayes. But he's got a big leg. He can punt it about 46, 50 yards.
Man.
Now, I'm not saying he'll do that consistently.
No, right.
And he's never really played American football before, right?
He was Australian rules football.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's been practicing punting for 2 years at this Pro Kick Australia, which has produced so many Division I punters and some NFL punters. But when the other punters punt and then Blake punts, the returners back up when Blake Hayes punts.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Okay. That is interesting.
So he's got a leg. I'd be shocked if he doesn't win the job.
Okay.
I mean, he's got the strongest leg. The one thing he knows, game sense, game situations. Blake O'Neal at Michigan, remember when he tried to rugby punt it after he fumbled? Those kind of situations he's going to have to improve upon, but he does have the leg.
Are we missing anything offensively or defensively? Anything I missed asking you? I think we kind of covered the gamut.
I mean, depth is the issue with this team.
Okay.
They have 75 scholarship players, very few experienced players.
8 seniors? Right?
They have 4 guys on this team who have made more than 10 career starts.
Oh, my goodness.
At the college level.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's a young team, but with this freshman class, I can just tell you, just the eye test.
Yes.
They look like a Big Ten, a good Big Ten recruiting class.
That's cool.
You add 2 more of those on top, this could be a rising team. I just think this is going to be a lot of growing pains this year, and then in the future, I think this team is going to be on the rise.
And Lovie won't let the freshmen talk, but he will let them play.
He let them talk
he
the
did?
media day.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, that's always interesting. You're going to see a lot of that this year. Next hour, Kevin Wheeler leads us off. Cardinal baseball talk. It is the Tay and J Show.
Oh, hey, hi, hello there. It's me, your air conditioner. You can call me AC if you want, but Mr. Conditioner is my dad's name. Okay, listen, you may have noticed that I'm using a lot of energy right now, and that's why you need to call an expert. Yep, the experts can give me a precision tune-up, so you'll save up to 30% on energy bills, and I won't have to work so hard, which is great because I'm about to pass out.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, save $41 off an AC Precision Tune-Up. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Family ties wouldn't mean nearly as much under a proposed merit-based system for green cards, getting support from President Trump. Fox's John Decker is live at the White House.
The legislation embraced by President Trump would slash legal immigration to the U.S. by 50% over 10 years by reducing the amount of low-skilled immigrants who are allotted green cards. The president said the current system is not working.
Among those hit the hardest in recent years have been immigrants and, very importantly, minority workers competing for jobs against brand new arrivals. And it has not been fair.
The bill would favor green card applicants who can speak English and financially support themselves. Democrats are unlikely to support the bill, and it's unclear how much support it could attract from Republicans. Lisa?
Well, John, fire officials in Minneapolis now confirming at least one person killed, another still missing, in an explosion and building collapse at a private school in Minneapolis.
One father telling me he was here with his daughter in the guidance counselor's office. Someone yelled, shouted, came down, tell them the smell of gas, get out of the building. And as the teenager was kind of taking steps into the hallway, there's this concussive blast.
Paul Bloom with Fox TV affiliate KMSP. 7 adults hospitalized, some critically injured. Construction work may have ruptured a gas line. A 1-mile radius evacuated around a CSX freight train hauling hazardous materials that derailed and caught fire in a small Pennsylvania town.
The people of Pennsylvania are concerned for what's happening here.
Governor Tom Wolf moments ago at the scene in Bedford County near the Maryland line, the NTSB investigating. It's 22K Day on Wall Street. The Dow up 52 points to 22,016. On the Fox Report, fair and balanced.
Sometimes, what you want most from your car is nothing. No headaches, no surprises. No anxiety when it's late at night and you're on some distant freeway in a thunderstorm. That bit of nothing is everything. And that's what you get when you purchase a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz from your authorized dealer. Because only an authorized Mercedes-Benz dealership has the skilled technicians to certify that your pre-owned vehicle is up to Mercedes-Benz standards. Only Mercedes-Benz can back their certified pre-owned vehicles with an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 5 years, with roadside assistance included. It's time to experience confidence that's as unlimited as the warranty. Visit the Certified Pre-Owned Sales event now through August 31st, and you'll receive 2 years of prepaid maintenance and special financing available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. You've waited long enough.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
Renewed debate over the war authority granted by Congress after the 9/11 attacks. The Trump administration says a new authorization isn't needed to keep fighting ISIS in Iraq and Syria. Some in Congress disagree. The Russian prime minister says new sanctions are the end of hope for better ties with the Trump administration. President Trump signing the bill into law this morning, even while criticizing one provision that limits his authority to lift sanctions as unconstitutional. Vice President Mike Pence.
On balance, this legislation reaffirms the president's strong commitment
to ongoing sanctions with Russia, to make it clear that their destabilizing behaviors are not acceptable to the United States.
The bill also punishes North Korea and Iran. The head of the Boy Scouts disputing the president's claim about a phone call complimenting a speech that's been criticized as overly political.
In a Wall Street Journal interview, President Trump said a call from the head of the Boy Scouts praised his speech at the West Virginia Jamboree as the greatest speech ever made to them. Both the Scouts president and chief Scout executive deny any such call. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders explained the conflicting statements.
The conversations took place. They just simply didn't take place over a phone call.
When asked if the president lied, Huckabee Sanders replied,
I wouldn't say it was a lie. That's pretty bold accusation.
A similar claim about a call from Mexico's president was also questioned. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Legendary college football coach Ara Parsegian has died, best known for leading Notre Dame to 2 national titles during 11 seasons with the Fighting Irish. Actor Jason Miller played him in the 1993 movie Rudy.
If you had a tenth of the heart of Rutgers, you could have made All-American. As it is, you just went from the third team to the prep team. Go on, get out of here. Get me another tailback. Okay, Coach. Come on, let's run it.
Parsegian was a Hall of Fame coach. He was 94. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Whoa.
I'm eating goldfish right now.
Oh, you weren't ready.
I wasn't prepared to come on the air.
Well, we got that. We got interns walking in and out. We got
7 of them.
Nerf balls flying against my head.
Right, give me a second while I drink
take a drink here. This is the weather. Trust the heating and cooling experts at Cheap Bauer Service Experts to help you comfortable all year long. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit cheapbauer.com
today. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 66. Thursday, chance of thunderstorms, high 84, low of 59. Friday, cool. This is my kind of weather. Overcast, high 68, a low of 54.
That's the highest.
No, that's my kind of weather.
Degrees?
Go for a run on Friday morning. It's going to be great. Clear out those lungs a little bit. Right now, mostly cloudy, 87. Feels like 91 in Champaign-Urbana.
I seriously forget which number this is.
All right, we're getting Kevin Wheeler on.
Yeah, and we're playing Rick Astley.
Which also red-haired.
Right.
But
Kevin, we did this for you, buddy.
Kevin some rock music here.
We did this for you, Kevin. Do you like it?
That's okay. That's my brother's nickname. I call him that all the time. My brother looked exactly like Rick Astley. I don't, thankfully, but my brother does. And every so often, I send my brother a little video clip of Rick Astley doing his 1980s dance.
Little jab at the brother.
Well, That's right. Little brothers are meant to be beat up on.
That's exactly right.
Well, Kevin Wheeler, 101 ESPN. You can listen to his show. Great show. Follow him on Twitter at Kevin Wheeler 94. Kevin, I find the Cardinals so interesting. I texted Alon this morning, and I know they didn't do anything at the deadline. I don't know if they should have, but it's just kind of a team that's in this wait mode that has to be just annoying for everyone involved.
Yeah, they're in purgatory. I mean, they're stuck in between. They're not terrible. I mean, terrible is the Phillies and the Giants and teams like that. They're not terrible, but they're far below expectations, and it's expectations that they set. I mean, you know, you listen to the words every offseason from Bill DeWitt Jr. to John Mozeliak to Mike Matheny to all the players. They talk about contending every year. That's what they discuss. That's what their goal is. That's what they expect. And I think that's why it's fair for all of us to kind of hold them to that same standard. If you're expecting us to, you know, and I mean us like the collective, you know, group of people that follow them to buy tickets, to, you know, watch the games and do all that. I mean, you know, we're partly going there based on the belief that your team is going to be competitive. And it doesn't mean you have to be competitive for people to be a fan, but, you know, it's the expectation of this team, and they never hide from that. They've never run from that ever. So I think it's important to understand the context, right? I mean, this isn't, you know, a team that's torn down and falling apart. This is a team, though, that is completely stuck in the middle, where you've got a lot of okay to above average to good players, but you don't have enough great players, and that leads to inconsistency. And the inconsistency is what's led to you being under 500.
Good call.
Kevin, we've brought up the Oscar Taveras thing. I mean, you can't plan for that, and that obviously changed a lot for them. We don't know how great he was going to be or if he would have been good, but it looked like he was going to be pretty good. That changed their plans, but they also decided to build around guys like Piscotty, Grichuk, Wong, that those were going to be their core players. How much of a misstep was that, and how much will that change going forward?
Well, the change part's the hard part to figure. I mean, the thing is, for every guy that's underachieved, like Grichuk, Tommy Pham has overachieved, right? I mean,
right.
Where Aledmus Diaz flamed out, Paul DeJong has been a beast. And I think that, some of that, not all of it is balanced out, though, and that's the problem. Like, you've had the biggest, I think the biggest disappointments this year have been Piscotty, Grichuk, and Aledmus Diaz.
Yep.
But at least two of those guys have been picked up by other guys who have produced at or above the level you would have you would never have expected Randall Grichuk to have an on-base percentage of 400 and hit double digits in home runs and steals and play the way that Pham has. I mean, Pham has outproduced any expectation for either Piscotty or Grichuk.
No
but
doubt.
Still, you're missing one of the two guys producing. And while Diaz was inconsistent for a long time, and that really hurt you the first couple months, I mean, DeJong has taken over, and, Jed Jerko has been a positive surprise until lately. The last month's been a little rough, but first 3 months were very strong. So you had a little bit of balance there. But I think, guys, you look at, those parts, right? I think they probably lost, wouldn't you say, at least a few games?
No doubt.
In part because for the first 2 or 3 months, 3 of the guys they were counting on to hit second, to hit third in Matt Carpenter. I mean, Carpenter didn't really hit like Matt Carpenter until he got moved back into the leadoff spot.
Right.
So, your guys that you were counting on to hit 2, 3, 4, and 6.
Wow.
Really struggled for the first 2.5 months. And you got that part. That's at least a few games, off the record, 2 to 3 to 4 games. And then the bullpen's been a huge disappointment.
Big time.
I mean, you looked at this bullpen coming in with the year that Sonwan O had last year, with him and Rosenthal and Siegrist and Cecil as your back four and Bowman as your ground ball guy, that looked like a strength of the team. That was supposed to be something that was going to be good. And the bullpen's probably cost them another 4 or 5 games by blowing games late or blowing it in tie games. And right there's your difference between first place and third place.
Great stuff. Kevin Wheeler, as always, 101 ESPN. I sat here, Kevin, and stared Jeremy Warner in the eye and said, that bullpen is going to be one of the best in baseball. And now I sit here and thinking, yikes. Yeah. Now, this said, with everything said, and I think I know the answer. I know the answer in my mind. Does this team have what it takes to make at least a push at the Cubs or Brewers, I assume Cubs, before this season is up?
I expect they'll finish ahead of the Brewers, but I'm not sure that either one of them is going to keep up with the Cubs.
I agree.
You were dead even with them, or at least close to it, within a few games of them for the first 3.5 months. But they went out and got a number 2, number 3 type starter to go along with another back end of the bullpen arm. And not to mention the fact that a lot of the guys for them that were not hitting the first 2.5, 3 months are hitting now, and they're hitting like monsters now. Just the trend's in the wrong direction. I mean, they're 14-3 since the break, and you're still sitting around 500. And they're going to cool down, but the Cardinals haven't gone on the extended run. And,
no.
It's 4 or 5 games here and 4 or 5 games there. I looked at it just this morning on my show, guys, and they put up 21 runs in 3 games against the Rockies, and they've scored, I think it's 7 runs in 5 games since.
Wow.
It's too much hot and cold. There's just too much variation, and you can't gain ground that way.
No. This is going to be one of those years that I remember a long time. Just how strange it seems like it's been all season. Kevin, Lance Lynn goes nowhere. And now, how do you foresee the future of Lance Lynn? Will it be in a Redbirds uniform, you think, in your mind, or is this a guy that maybe they'll use for that compensatory pick?
I can't imagine it would make sense to give him an extension.
Okay.
I mean, he's a heck of a pitcher,
sure.
And he's a good dude, and he's funny and all that. I mean, he came up a Cardinal, but he's going to be going into his age 31 season. He's probably going to be able to command a $90 to $100 million contract. And you've got Wainwright under contract for next year, Martinez, Leake, and Waka. And, 3 of those guys are having good years. And
sure.
Waino, you're not dumping. He's not going anywhere. That's one of your veterans. So when you add all of these things together, you don't have the luxury, I don't think, of being able to spend $90 to $100 million on a 30-plus-year-old pitcher when you've also got 3 top 100 starting pitchers at AAA or above. Alex Reyes is coming off the DL next year, and he may have to pitch out of the pen, but, you let that play out. And then, of course, you still have Luke Weaver and Jack Flaherty, who are both top 100 prospects right now. And, when you've got that kind of starting pitching depth, it just doesn't make any sense to sign somebody that, or I should say to retain somebody that is going to be really expensive. I mean, at some point, you do have to count on those guys.
He's Kevin Wheeler, 101 ESPN. You can follow him on Twitter at Kevin Wheeler 94. So what's the big move? I mean, what's this offseason going to look like? Because it's a huge one for John Mozeliak.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to figure out where the one guy is going to come from. If you're looking for that, just that one monster to plop in the middle of the order that allows for some consistency because they're so productive. I mean, to me, you still keep pushing on Stanton until you get the word from the Marlins or from the player that he just won't do it. I mean, he may not. We've heard all different kinds of stories about him not being willing to go to the Midwest, not having any interest in particular. It's not so much about the Cardinals as it is about at least based on what I've read, whether or not he wants to play in the Midwest. I mean, he's a guy that sounds like he wants to be in Miami, which is obviously the place he chose to sign a long-term contract with, or out in California, which is where he's from. So when I look at the possibility, I mean, to me, he's the guy, and he's readily available as far as the team willing to dump him. But I just don't know if there's going to be a marketplace where he's willing to come to you. And I don't think people should look at that as a shot against the Cardinals or against St. Louis. I mean, this is a guy that controls his own destiny. If he wants to go to another place, I mean, that's the power that he negotiated into his new contract. But that's the player that I'm looking at. That's the caliber. Right. If there's another one out there, I mean, maybe you look at others, but guys like Donaldson and Machado would be 1-year rentals for next year, and then they're going to go out into the free agent marketplace. So there's a lot of risk involved with that. Mm-hmm. And then I throw into the bigger mix. Maybe it's just not going to be that caliber of guy. Maybe that guy's not available, so you change approach and you spread out what you're going to add, and instead of counting on guys to see what they've got, you replace them with players are with known commodities, right? Let's remove the questions and add known commodities. Maybe one of the things I floated, guys, was maybe you pattern yourself after the Royals, and you say, look, we can't get the big guy. Well, the Royals won a World Series without that big guy in the middle of the order. Right. But what they had was the best defensive team. Like, they have a plus defender at every position, and they even have that now. The Cardinals don't. They had a deep, loaded bullpen. I don't see how it would be that tough for the Cardinals to do that. You maybe add one free agent arm to the guys you have, and then you maybe bring up a guy like Alcantara who throws 100 miles an hour and stick him in there. Maybe Alex Reyes pitches out of your bullpen next year as he comes back from Tommy John, and he can be that 100-mile-an-hour guy that's blowing it past people to help kind of settle things down. But there's got to be a defined plan.
Agreed.
It's either got to be, let's go get the monster, or if we can't get the monster, we need to be better everywhere. We need to have an elite shortstop. We need to clear the clutter of all of our second basemen that are taking up the middle infield. We got to go athletic in the outfield, which they had in Tommy Pham. So, you might think that Pham, Fowler, and Piscotty might be your outfield, and that's a pretty decent defensive outfield. And if Fowler will be a little more of a team player and slide over to left, then it would be a really good outfield. And, in the infield, what you'd be missing then is a really high-end defensive shortstop.
Does the monster list include a 30-year-old free agent, J.D. Martinez? And what price would you pay for him?
It could, but then again, I'm taking away from that outfield defense, and I already have too many damn outfielders.
Right.
I'm a huge fan of J.D. Martinez. I think that guy, I mean, not you guys, I'm a Tigers fan. That's my team, and he is a monster. He's a flat-out monster at the plate. But you've already got 7 outfielders between AAA and the majors that are all very talented. You've got the 4 guys at the big league level with Piscotty, Grichuk, Pham, and Fowler once Fowler comes off the DL. And you've got Bader, who we just saw look pretty good. You've got the kid O'Neill they just got from Seattle, who's a 30-home run hitter waiting to happen. And you've got Jose Adolis Garcia, who's hitting like 320 since he moved up to AAA, and that doesn't even count Mag Sierra. So I love the bat, but, man, unless I can spin off a bunch of those other guys, maybe for an elite bullpen arm or something, I just don't know how I make that work. And it scares me to think of a declining Fowler in center, and then J.D. Martinez getting into his mid-30s here in a couple of years in another outfield spot, that outfield defense isn't exactly going to be a strength in that way. I do love the bat, though, but I think there's the challenge.
See Kevin Wheeler looking in the future, and I'm just thinking of home runs next year. That's all I'm wanting to do. Kevin, I don't know if you heard the news, but Jeremy and I are divorcing. Did you hear this?
Oh, how are the kids?
Yeah, right.
We're just talking about how we're going to split up our interns.
Yeah, where Jeremy's going to move over. He's going to start doing a 9 to 11 morning show.
Competing with Kevin Wheeler.
Yes.
For Cardinals listeners.
You son of a...
Right? Kevin's like, don't you...
I'm not going to get the Cardinal listener group. I'm going for the Illinois group.
You won't even get Wheeler anymore now. I just thought of that.
Yeah, listen to your show for it.
It's a great move.
Yeah, that's the question in this divorce. Who gets me?
Lon gets you.
I get you, yeah. So
okay. So
I paid...
seniority there.
Right, I paid big money, Kevin, for that move. It's like a fantasy draft. Hey, buddy, it's always good to chat, my friend. 101 ESPN. It's a great show. I bring it up all the time at work and listen to Kevin Wheeler chat Cardinals baseball and everything else. Follow him on Twitter at Kevin Wheeler 94. It's always a pleasure, my friend. You know that. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you, fellas. We'll look forward to it, man. Good luck, Jeremy.
Thanks, Kevin.
Good stuff. Kevin Wheeler. That is nice. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I get by default. I get Wheeler.
Yeah.
Because he's doing his show.
Yeah, unless he's just like, I'm going to stop my show to join Jeremy. He
simulcasts on his show, your show for
we'll just
segment.
Talk to each other about it.
That would be awesome.
No, I don't think I'm going to get the Cardinal crew over Kevin because he's way more knowledgeable than that.
Maybe Claves will join you.
Yeah, he can still Claves.
Yeah, Claves will come and join you once in a while. Yeah, I think he
Raby, we got Raby.
Chris Raby will do it. We could hit up Tommy Ackerman, Tom's the KMOX sports director down there. In fact, he'd probably be perfect for that because he does the morning show for KMOX, and he'd be perfect to join you. So plenty of Cardinals talk. Don't think that Jeremy's going to just avoid the birds.
We're going to talk some Illini basketball recruiting with Joe Hendrickson, City Suburban Hoops Report. Zion Griffin, a new offer out there. We'll ask Joe about him. There seems to be some more high major prospects in the class of 2018, but we've talked a lot about Tim Finke.
Right.
Might not be a part of that crew anymore. We'll ask Joe why that's happened. But coming up next, we'll talk a little Illini football. Who do you want to hear from first? Hardy Nickerson, Mike Fair, or Blake Hayes?
I don't think there's any doubt.
I didn't think so.
There is no doubt that, and anybody that knows a female listener that normally listens but now isn't today, get a hold of him and let him know we've got an Aussie coming up.
Blake Hayes.
How cool is the accent?
6'5", 230 punter with an Aussie accent and a great personality.
Oh, man.
I think he's going to do well.
I think he'll be fine. You mean pinning balls down at the 5-yard line? That's
exactly.
That's exactly what I thought you meant.
He's going to do really well at Illinois.
Well, let's hear from him if you don't mind.
Yeah.
We'll hear some from let me start over. We will hear from some of the Fighting Illini coaches and players when we return.
3, 2, and 1.
Tay and J Show.
An ESPN Radio Mike and Mike Extra Point with Clinton Yates and Sean Farnham.
Christian Vasquez hit his first career walk-off homer, and the Red Sox defeated the Tribe 12-10. The Sox rallied to win despite striking out 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth and trailing by 1. The last team to go on to win after striking out when trailing with 2 outs in the ninth was the Twins on July 31st, 2003 against the O's. The game also featured what could be the catch of the year from Cleveland's Austin Jackson, who flipped over the bullpen to make an incredible grab. I'm not going to say this isn't a good grab. At some point, that becomes dangerous. And as cool as that looks, every single time it happens at Fenway, I'm concerned somebody's going to break their neck.
Okay, but it happens a lot of times when the ball gets hit down foul territory. Do we say that's dangerous as well? Should we put up nets and fences all the way around?
I sort of feel like you have a choice when it's in foul territory.
He has a choice whether he's going to go for that or not.
Hear more from Mike and Mike tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio.
O'Reilly.
Keep your windows clean and see clearer with Gunk Glass Cleaner. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, buy 1 bottle of Gunk Glass Cleaner and get 1 free. Gunk's high-performance ingredients clean glass and hard surfaces without leaving a film or residue. Gunk Glass Cleaner, buy 1, get 1 free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Guys, get to JCPenney's biggest sale of the season. Find great brands like Levi's 502 regular fit jeans for $39.99. Or get 25% off select styles of Nike tees, shorts, shoes, and backpacks. Also, check out our great selection of men's big and tall sizes. And download the JCPenney app for even more savings. Hurry, the biggest sale of the season ends Saturday. That's getting your pennies worth. JCPenney. See store or jcp.com for details. Season refers to 6/19 to 8/5.
Why drive to Key West when you can enjoy the new Tiki Bar and Patio at Daly's Sports Bar, 116 West Washington Street in Philo. With 9 flat-screen TVs and the MLB package, you can take in your favorite team's action live. Daily drink specials Wednesday through Friday evening from 5 to 9 p.m. Enjoy the Daly's Outback Food Wagon on the patio featuring special burgers, sandwiches, shrimp baskets, fried and grilled cod, nachos, tacos, and cheesy fries. Now through August 25th, enter to win a trip to Las Vegas with $100 cash drawings every Friday. There's no purchase necessary to enter and win. Co-sponsored by XL Entertainment, Illinois' most chosen terminal operator. Play slots and win some cash at Daly's, featuring the latest and hottest slots. Come in and play slots, have a blast, some great food and drinks, and hit the jackpot. Be sure and enter for your chance to go to Vegas now through August 25th with $100 cash drawings every Friday at Daily Sports Bar, 116 West Washington in the heart of Philo. Must be 21 or older to play slots. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Looking to renovate your kitchen or bathroom? For over 30 years, Kitchen, Bath, and Cabinet Company has been Champaign-Urbana's #1 showroom for all your kitchen and bath needs. From design to installation, Kitchen, Bath, and Cabinet Company combines years of industry experience with excellent customer service. Check out their solid surface quartz and granite countertops, plus a wide range of fixtures and cabinetry. Call Kitchen, Bath, and Cabinet Company at 352-1900 or visit online at kitchenbathandcabinetco.com.
Game Day Spirit, the official fan store of the Fighting Illini, is now open at their new location at 1602 South Neal Street in Champaign. Stop in and check brand new styles at the corner of Neal and Kirby across from McDonald's. Game Day has new looks to head back to school for the men, women, juniors, and youth. Plus, Game Day Spirit has a huge selection of buy one, get one free Illini shirts for the whole family. Shop Game Day Spirit on Green Street at their new location at 1602 South Neal and online at GameDaySpirit.com. Go Illini.
At Jet's Pizza Champaign, we start fresh every day with the freshest ingredients. We hand make the dough, cut the vegetables, and grate the finest all-natural mozzarella cheese. Anything else wouldn't be better pizza. Order our best of Jets, a one-topping large pizza for just $11.99, and let your taste buds scream.
Let's get Jets.
Life is full of twists and turns. You can't see the unknown, but you can certainly prepare for it. Pekin Life Insurance Company offers a variety of term and whole life insurance policies that are designed to meet the needs of individuals and their families. Options include transitional life, universal life, preferred whole life, family term life, and many others. Visit PekinInsurance.com or ask your local Pekin Insurance agent about an affordable, beyond the expected life insurance policy that's right for you.
Diane Ducey here to tell you about Mobile Meter. When I'm playing taxi to my kiddos, I no longer have to worry about parking tickets and loose change. I downloaded the Mobile Meter app to ease my parking frustrations. You should download the Mobile Meter app today. It's available on iTunes, on your phone app store, or at mobilemeter.us.
Hey, what are you doing on August 25th and 26th?
I don't know. Why?
Well, I'm on the Urbana Sweet Corn Festival website, and I saw some awesome volunteer opportunities.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you can volunteer at their corn eating contest, cornhole games, beer tent.
Oh, let me see. These opportunities look awesome. Click on that. What's the entertainment for this year?
The main stage lineup covers an array of classic rock, rhythm and blues, and jazz by some awesome local bands.
Wait, Candy Foster's playing? And Love Sign, ESP, Andy Moe, King's Highway, The Boat Drunks, Tons of Fun Band, and a performance for Elnora, the Guitar Festival at Craner?
And there's even more stages. The One Community Together, Folk and Roots, and wow, the downtown bars have live music too.
That's 2 days of music we cannot miss.
Oh, look, we can bring the kids too. There's a puzzle hunt by CU Adventures, didgeridoo making, inflatables, and the Motor Buster car show.
You can take the kids, but I'm all over that $6 souvenir cup that can be filled at any downtown bar or festival beer stand.
Well, since it's a 2-day festival, I'm sure we can do it all.
Sponsored in part by the Urbana Business Association, City of Urbana, Bud Light, and this station. For more information, visit UrbanaSweetCornFestival.com.
Going on 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. And while you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook, ROCHS in St. Joseph.
Delicious food, cold brews, great music and art, kids zone and more. Join the Champaign Park District for the Taste of Champaign-Urbana happening August 18th and 19th in Westside Park, Champaign. Try something new. Get a sample of local favorites as you explore exciting food vendors. Hear free live music featuring Rock Country Act, Murphy 500, and the danceable Sun Stereo. The Taste of Champaign-Urbana has something for everyone, so come to Westside Park August 18th and 19th and be ready to eat. Get more information online today at champagneparks.com. That's champagneparks.com.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hello, I'm Austin Berglund with the 4:30 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. We're in a rush. We're in a mad rush here. There's some basketball disaster here going on, and everyone's
There's
late.
too dang many of you here. Somebody go home.
Like a minute ago, Maddie was over here. She just popped up out of nowhere. I'm like, where'd you come from?
Interns popping out of who knows what.
So anyway, with that, with the service you get from State Farm, you might think their car insurance costs more, but with discounts up to 40%.
Do they cover interns?
I'll call John Kaywood at 217-367-1105 today.
Good call.
For an intern insurance assignment. Oh, it's on. We have a date for Bragging Rights 2017, and it will be on December 23rd from the State Farm Center, from the Scott Trade Center. Mark Smith and the Illini look to take 5 straight from Michael Porter, Jonte Porter, and Jeremiah Tillman, Missouri-led team. Holy home runs, Batman. The Cubs offense, after scoring only 7 runs in Milwaukee, the Cubs bats exploded for 16 runs in a 16-4 win over the D-backs, including 5 homers. Baez, Happ, and Big John Lester went deep once, with Anthony Rizzo homering twice. John Lester pitched 4 innings, striking out 9. Pushed him to the 2,000 strikeout mark. He is only the 25th left-hander in MLB history with 2,000 career strikeouts. So congratulations to John Lester. The Cubs and Diamondbacks played tonight, and it's Godley versus Arrieta. First pitch is at 7:05. Listen on US 105.9. It's time to get to your Cardinals lawn.
No,
The Cardinals
let's just move on.
Couldn't get past to the 3-run first inning that Carlos Martinez gave up. The Cardinals were only able to muster up 1 run in each of the 4th and 5th innings. The two teams lock up again tonight at 7:05, and it's Luke Weaver versus Brent Sutter is the pitching matchup. And Andrew Miller, he's been put on the 10-day DL with right patella tendonitis.
Well done, Austin. You are turning into a professional in there, young man, and I like to see that. It is the Tay and J Show. Lonte, Jeremy Werner. We're going to hear from some Illini football coaches and players. I had to stand up because I cannot speak today. So I'm standing now, hoping that clears my vocal airwaves. Does that even make sense?
Just condense when you sit down.
right. Everything's
scrunching
just,
up.
I'm so fat again now. You know, did you notice that? I'm back to being fat.
I'm putting on dad weight too.
Oh,
it's
man.
a real thing.
It really is.
You just don't have time to do anything.
No, you don't.
You're tired all the time.
The only time that I make account for is that I do have a couple of beers every night. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm not helping lose weight.
You don't have time to eat healthy.
No.
And
not
that
at
takes
all.
way too much energy and time.
Yes. They actually sit down and cook.
See, I think I haven't added, I'm not total dad bod yet, but I'm halfway there.
You're not even close.
I'm halfway there.
You're just waiting.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you're fine. Listen, you look
I'm
fine.
married, have been married for 7 years. I got a kid. I got excuses.
Just whenever Tiff says something, that's when you really start to need to dial it in. Jeremy, wow. Yeah. I didn't realize your gut was that big. You know, one of those. All right, before we get to this breakdown of Illinois football, I wanted to ask you, because you weren't on the other day, the Big Ten released the basketball conference schedule for the Fighting Illini, and I don't mind. Obviously, you play Michigan State twice. Let's see, who else?
That I don't like, because that's 2 losses.
No, you're right. That's 2 losses, but you got Indiana, Michigan State, Nebraska, Rutgers, and Wisconsin are your 2. Now, you're
I don't
going to
like
lose
Wisconsin.
the Kohl Center. I don't either.
I don't like both Wisconsin, just because they're Wisconsin.
Yes, that's exactly right. Overall, though, what do you think of it? Not bad?
It's hard to tell.
I know it is.
This time of year, I know we love to break this down all the time. The Michigan State thing is the one that hurts the most to me because
Yes.
I that's just 2 losses.
Right.
I mean,
No doubt.
This is one of his best teams ever. Indiana, I kind of like twice.
I do too.
I don't expect you to go to Indiana and win, but I do like that you're going to play them at home because I think they'll be one of the weaker teams, but you never know. Nebraska twice I like. I don't think they're going to be good. Rutgers twice I like.
Huge.
So I think it evens out for the most part there. I think you should split that schedule. When it comes to away, Northwestern, I don't mind because they're playing in a weird venue where there'll probably be more Illinois fans.
Good call.
With Welsh Ryan undergoing the renovations this year, they're playing out in Rosemont.
Yep.
Ohio State away, thank you.
Yes.
Minnesota away, don't like.
No.
Michigan away, don't like. So
I like just playing Michigan and Minnesota once.
So that evens out. The home schedule I really like.
Mm-hmm.
The home onlys, I should say. Iowa, I think that's going to be a tough team.
Right.
You get them here. Purdue, tough team.
Right.
You get them here. Maryland, I think one of the best teams in the Big Ten. You get them here. Penn State, a team you'll be fighting probably for a bid for to the NCAA tournament. You get them here.
Yep. That's huge.
Right. You got the tougher once-only opponents at home.
Good stuff. Well,
I like that.
I know a lot of our listeners would value your opinion on that as you break that down a little bit. But that's basketball. Football staring us in the face. You've been at training camp the last 2 days, day 3 going on right now. You were able to
Goes on
chat.
tonight.
Or I'm sorry, tonight.
Start
That's
at
right.
5:30.
That's right, because you're going to be able to get over there still. And you've been able to chat with some of the guys.
Yeah, and we talked to a lot of the freshmen at Media Day on Sunday, and one of the guys I think people would love to hear from is Blake Hayes, the punter. Not only is he an interesting story, but he's Australian.
Does he talk about kangaroos?
So he sounds funny.
Okay.
Or not funny, but fun.
Fun, right.
So here's my conversation with Illini freshman punter Blake Hayes.
Jeremy Warner, Illini Inquirer, here with new Illini punter Blake Hayes. Blake, what has been the biggest transition from Australia so far?
For me, I would say just like the grind every day. It's been awesome. It's been mentally tough. It's been physically tough. But working with all the freshmen every morning, running, lifting, it's been just like exciting, nerve-wracking, everything. But I've got a lot out of it, and like I've seen physical changes, mental changes. So I'm just really happy in that sense that I've been able to get a lot of benefits out of that.
What's been the biggest cultural change so far for you?
Food, definitely. Serving sizes.
How would you explain the American serving size and appetite?
Basically, the size of the plate. I mean, I was at the Pancake House the other day. Omelette was the size of the plate. Never seen something like that. So it was crazy. It's just bigger, probably better. So yeah, it's good. I like it.
So you came from Australian rules football. Obviously come from Pro Kick Australia, which has produced a lot. How much actual American football have you watched so far?
So I started watching it. All right, let me get my years. So year 9 in Australia, which is, I think, freshman year of high school. I started watching NFL. So I started watching Philadelphia, and then I sort of like started to fall in love with the game. Like I started looking at how like offense and defense works and stuff like that. And then as I sort of looked into it more, my interest for coming to America started to increase. And then a teacher at school got me into contact with Nathan Chapman and John Smith at Pro Kick Australia. And from there joined up, and then a year and a half later I'm over here, which is kind of crazy. So yeah.
It's an amazing whirlwind, and now you're competing for a starting job at a Big Ten school. What's the key for you as you go into fall training camp here to get that job?
Yeah, definitely. For me, it's more mental, I think. I've learned a lot over the past, especially the past week, but the past month, just about how to get my mind right. And that's about consistency. So if you have a bad ball, just trying to forget about it, try and put it in the past, and just make sure the next one is the best you can be. And I think through that, just trying to work on my craft every day, focus on more the process instead of the outcomes. So focusing more on what I've got to do to hit a good ball instead of hoping to hit a good ball, sort of thing. So I'm trying to focus on that, and just if I can focus on that, then hopefully the result will take care of itself.
What makes Aussies so good at punting?
I've been kicking the ball since I was about 4 years old, as soon as I could walk. So I've been doing as they call it, the rugby or the pooch punt. I've been doing that since about 4 years old. So I guess it makes the transition a little bit easier for Australians, but I mean, we still have to learn how to spiral and things like that. But I think in terms of the pooch punt, it's just natural for us. We don't really think about it. We just do it and kick it. Yeah.
I love it.
That's Aussie punter Blake Hayes.
And he's 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, 6'5", 6'6", about 230.
That is so
looks like
cool.
a tight end.
Yeah, that he could, yeah.
Yeah, but I said in the first hour that when they're doing returns, the punters punt and the returners practice just catching the ball. When Blake Hayes steps up, they move back.
That's unreal.
So
That's awesome.
He's got a lot of leg talent.
Okay.
It's just he's never played American football.
Right.
He's been practicing for it the last couple of years at Pro Kick Australia, which has produced a bunch of college football punters, including the Ray Guy Award winner, Mitch Wisnowski last year at Utah, and a couple guys who are in the NFL right now. So they have a great experience doing this. He's got a big leg. He can spiral it. He can rugby it. He can do all those things. But getting into a game is a little bit different.
No doubt.
So we'll see how he does, but he's definitely got the leg talent.
You have to help me because I don't know if I've ever gotten his name right. Bob Ligashevsky? Ligashevsky. My bad, Bob. It'd be interesting to see how he's coaching him. Like if you get a normal punter from Wheaton, let's say, you understand that kid knows the game. He's played high school football in America. He kind of gets the idea of the pooch punt, of trying to go for the corner, all that kind of stuff. It would be interesting to see how Bob or Coach is coaching him with regards to understanding that he doesn't know anything about the game.
Maybe I'll talk to Bob tonight about that.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's
a good idea.
Seriously, it's like, do you just sit there and make him watch NFL games and say, all right, just focus on the punter?
All right, give me one more freshman you'd like to hear from.
Another freshman. How about Owen Carney?
I was thinking Cam Thomas, Larry Boyd, or Alex Pelchowski.
Oh, Larry Boyd.
You want to hear from Larry Boyd?
No, wait. Alex Pelchowski is who I want to hear from.
Okay.
That's who I want to hear from. He's the center? He's basically learning center guard right now.
He's center right now, but he stepped in at guard yesterday when Christian DeLauro went out. They moved Gabe Meganson out to tackle.
Got it.
And they moved Alex Pelchowski to left guard.
And this is a kid that really Illinois made the first offer to, correct?
Yep.
Nobody had made an offer to him. They kind of found him.
First Power 5 offer, had a neck injury his junior year, so there wasn't much film on him. And I talk about that with him. Also, competing for playing time as a freshman, I didn't know he would be maybe the 6th offensive lineman already for Illinois, but he's a kid that's 6'6", 6'7", already up to 290 pounds from about 270 since he's gotten here. So here's a little bit from Alex Pelchowski from Mount Prospect.
Alex Pelchowski, offensive lineman here with the Illini Inquirer. Alex, a year ago, you probably weren't thinking that you would be here today. What's it like to be here wearing that uniform and getting ready for your first training camp?
It's really nice to be here because, I still get to play football. I knew, once I got here, I wasn't done playing football. And so I know I have another 4 years, and it's just really nice to play for my home state.
I mean, that was a whirlwind recruitment. You had the neck injury. You come back from that. Illinois offers you, and, you go through the process. But what was that like for you? And now that you sit here today, what do you kind of remember about that?
It was like a whirlwind, but it was something a big accomplishment that definitely the biggest accomplishment of my life. I worked after I got here. I worked so hard, every day. I just had a vision in my head just to be able to keep on playing football. And once Illinois offered me that, it was just a feeling of gratitude. Everything I've done has paid off.
So as an offensive lineman, almost every offensive lineman has to gain weight except Vidarian and Larry. So you seem like the odd man out with the freshman group this year. But what's that been like? The strength gains, what have you done so far?
It's been really good. I've gained probably, when I was on my official, I was 260. Now I'm at about 292. And so Coach Jose told me, just stay at 290 and just go up in muscle mass and just go down in body fat. So I'm just staying at 290, and I'm happy where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think that allows you to possibly see the field this year? I mean, what do you think going into your freshman year?
I think it will definitely help me see the field also, since I'm playing at all 5 positions now. And so I'm going to learn all of those. I'm going interior, and I think it'll help a lot.
So what's the thing you've learned most on campus, or what's been the craziest thing since you've been down, the lifestyle change?
It's just living by yourself. Like when I found back home, it's all just kind of laziness. You're just sitting around doing here, not since when you're at Illinois, you're doing everything. I love it because you're never bored. You're always doing something, whether it be homework, going over doing drills, going over film, going to class. That's you're never bored. It's always fun.
That's Alex Pelchowski.
That's good stuff.
Freshman offensive lineman.
Just sitting around being bored.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that with everybody when you go to college for the first time? I said to you during that interview, wouldn't it be amazing if that kid turned out to be all Big Ten.
I think he has a ridiculously high ceiling.
Okay.
This is the type of kid that has gone to Iowa.
Got it.
Or has gone to Wisconsin from the Chicago suburbs.
His name even sounds like the type of kid that goes to Iowa.
Illinois got him.
Yep.
And they get a kid like Larry Boyd. Both those guys have really, really high ceilings, and they can come in and maybe play. I wish they didn't have to.
Right.
You wish you could redshirt a kid like Alex Palczewski. But if he's talented enough to play early, those guys are rare. Graham Posick was at practice the other day, and I talked to him, the former Illinois offensive lineman. He was a 4-star recruit, and he was a big kid coming out of high school. He looked at Larry Boyd and said, that kid's a freshman.
Wow.
And then Alex Palczewski goes, yeah, he needs to add some weight, but that's a good-looking kid as well. But he told me there's 2 guys that started in his career as true freshmen, and that was Jeff Allen and Hugh Thornton.
Unreal.
A second and third round pick.
And they both
If you have guys who can start this early in their career, especially Larry Boyd, if he wins over guys, Adam Solomon, I don't know if he's going to be great, but I mean, he's a guy I think you can play.
Sure. If
he can win out that job, and that tells you maybe that kid's got that kind of ceiling, and maybe the same thing with Alex Palczewski.
And he's gained 32 pounds since reporting day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Well, since his official visit
reporting
last
day,
fall.
I'm sorry. Since his official visit, 32 pounds.
Yeah.
And now they're going to work on body fat down and muscle mass up.
Yep.
That's interesting that they can really...
Well, meanwhile, Vidarian Lowe and Larry Boyd, they're working to trim down and strengthen up as well.
Get skinny. Well, so you've got Larry Boyd. I wouldn't mind hearing from him as well.
Okay, we
you
want to
do that?
Yeah.
You want to do that now, or you want to? Let's tease that.
Well, I think people would rather hear from the freshmen, so that's fine.
Yeah, I agree.
We can scrap Hardy and Mike Fair.
Okay.
You can hear from coaches later.
Yeah, come on, those guys. We'd rather have them in studio. No, I kid. Larry Boyd, when we come back, he's the 6'6", right now, around 360.
I think he's closer to 340 now.
Okay.
He does not look
good.
360, but
okay.
He's a big boy.
So he's starting to lose some weight. He's a guy like Alex Palczewski, which might be seeing some time as true freshman on the offensive line. That is not ideal, right? Mm-hmm. However, maybe that's what the future holds with Lovey and a guy that, like we've said with Coach Smith, not afraid to play a freshman. When we come back, we'll hear from Larry Boyd. It is the Tay and J Show.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Why drive to Key West when you can enjoy the new Tiki Bar and Patio at Daly's Sports Bar, 116 West Washington Street in Philo. With 9 flat-screen TVs and the MLB package, you can take in your favorite team's action live. Daily drink specials Wednesday through Friday evening from 5 to 9 p.m. Enjoy the Daly's Outback Food Wagon on the patio featuring special burgers, sandwiches, shrimp baskets, fried and grilled cod, nachos, tacos, and cheesy fries. Now through August 25th, enter to win a trip to Las Vegas with $100 cash drawings every Friday. There's no purchase necessary to enter and win. Co-sponsored by XL Entertainment, Illinois' most chosen terminal operator. Play slots and win some cash at Daly's, featuring the latest and hottest slots. Come in and play slots, have a blast, some great food and drinks, and hit the jackpot. Be sure and enter for your chance to go to Vegas now through August 25th with $100 cash drawings every Friday at Daily Sports Bar, 116 West Washington in the heart of Philo. Must be 21 or older to play slots. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You already know Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar at the iHotel is a great restaurant, but don't forget about the bar. Fantastic drink specials and mouth-watering menu items from snacks to full meals. A nice selection of draft, craft, and domestic beers, and just about any cocktail you can imagine. Watch a game with multiple flat screens on all sides of the bar, or grab some tables and make it a party. Drink specials daily, plus Houlihan's is now serving a delicious hot breakfast 7 days a week. Houlihan's at the iHotel. Check them out at the corner of 1st Street and St. Mary's Road, just south of the State Farm Center.
Hey, can you smell that?
Smell what?
The hot and buttery locally grown sweet corn.
Oh yeah, the Urbana Sweet Corn Festival is coming on August 25th and 26th. Have you heard about all the exciting changes this year?
No, what?
They're partnering with downtown Urbana bars and restaurants for amazing drink specials.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just grab your souvenir sweet corn cup for $6 and pop onto any bar to grab a beer or mixed drink.
So I can go to my favorite downtown Urbana bar and grab a vodka soda and then go dance to the boat drunks?
Yeah, and when you need to take a breather from all your jazzy dance moves, we can stop at the Festival Beer Tent and fill up your magical cup before grabbing a piece of corn and playing some cornhole.
So let me get this straight. We can go to any bar and get any drink and go anywhere in the festival with said drink.
Yep.
Roaming around with a drink in my hand at the Urbana Sweet Corn Festival never tasted so good.
The festival is proudly brought to you by the Urbana Business Association, City of Urbana, Bud Light, Illinois American Water, Eastland Sweets, and this station. For more information, visit UrbanaSweetCornFestival.com.
Diane Ducey here to tell you about Mobile Meter. When I'm playing taxi to my kiddos, I no longer have to worry about parking tickets and loose change. I downloaded the Mobile Meter app to ease my parking frustrations. You should download the Mobile Meter app today. It's available on iTunes, on your phone app store, or at mobilemeter.us.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. New users claim your $50 credit to post a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Protecting your home and family. You better have a plan. Keep them safe from harm with the home alarm from F.E. Moran. Home invasions are on the rise all across the land. But they'll think twice when they see the sign for F.E. Moran. Don't wait till it's too late. It's time to make a stand. Call 877-FE Moran. F.E. Moran. Alarm.
Alto Vineyards has long been a leader in the Illinois wine industry, winning over 700 awards in national and international wine competitions in the last 20 years. Now, Alto Vineyards, along with SJ Broadcasting, present Music Among the Vines, East Central Illinois' premier summer concert series, held under the stars. Stop by Alto Vineyards each weekend throughout the summer and indulge in Illinois wines, premium beers, soft drinks, and light food items, all while experiencing the best music the area has to offer. For more details, visit altovineyards.net or call 356-4784.
Find the perfect pairings for your summer picnic with the Midsummer Picnic featured this weekend at Alto Vineyards. Saturday at 2, Bill Harper entertains with his acoustic sets. Sunday at 2, it's Ivis John. Then Sunday at 5, relax and unwind. It's Jonathan Travelstead reading poetry. Wednesdays at Alto Vineyards throughout August from 6 to 8, it's wine and yoga. Find out more, altovineyards.net.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lante, Jeremy Warner. We heard from Alex Belchewski and Blake Hayes, the freshman offensive lineman, freshman punter. Hayes is from Australia.
Yep.
You also were able to visit with another freshman, Larry Boyd. Big guy.
Yeah, I've known Larry a little bit here when he committed and then went down to St. Louis this summer and did a big story on him. Really interesting kid that doesn't come from the greatest background.
Right.
And he's made something of himself, turned that Trinity program around, and they got a ton of talent down there now. They went to the state title game last year. Now he comes to Illinois, and day one of his first practice, he's in the first string.
Unreal.
At strong side tackle, which is basically right tackle for Illinois. Caught up with Larry Boyd, talked about recruiting St. Louis, but also his early opportunity for a lot of playing time.
Larry Boyd, Illini freshman here with Illini Inquirer. Larry, what's the college life so far?
It's been difficult, but it's just nothing but hard work.
So I know you They build you as a 4-year starter. They sold you that you could be that here at Illinois. What do you need to do to get that first year?
I just need to come out and play aggressive like I always do. I mean, you're going to have your slip-ups. You're going to lose some reps, but still you just got to know how to bounce back and just keep working hard.
Yeah, what's that competition going to be like in training camp, and what do you need to do?
On the competition, it's going to be very good. And then I just got to go out there, play aggressive, move my feet, and just stay light.
So you're roommates with Vidarian Lowe. What's that been like so far? Two big guys like that.
It's been real good. Me and V, we got a good relationship. I consider him my brother already, so it's just good.
What's the biggest gain you've made since you've been here the first couple months?
I actually lost about like 15 pounds. So I lost 6.5% body fat. So
what's the key to doing that? Like what's your plan and how do you go about doing that?
Just make sure we stay in tune with Brittany. She's our nutritionist. So I just, stay in tune with her. I'll be sending her pictures of what I eat, just trying to watch what I eat.
So you came from St. Louis, Illinois, is really trying to get involved there. What did it mean for you to be a part of this first class, and what are you working on for the future? Are you out trying to get some more guys here?
Most definitely. I got some kids at 18, 19, 20. I'm just trying to get a bunch of kids from my area to come join the movement. We're building something special.
You're really good at video games. What's the best video game you've ever played?
Probably 2K. I'm a big basketball player, NBA 2K.
What team do you usually play with on 2K?
I don't know. It just depends. If I'm playing somebody good, I'll probably play like LeBron, the Cavs. I'm a big LeBron fan, so.
Has anyone challenged you here on the team so far?
I took my fair share of losses, but still at the same time, I took my fair share of wins. So it's up and down.
That's Larry Boyd,
That's
Illini
awesome.
freshman.
That is amazing that Brittany, if I texted my dinners or my meals to Brittany, she'd probably be like, Lon, you need to stop eating.
Yeah.
Just stop what you're doing
You
right
got
now.
that bag of Fritos over there.
Right, yeah, as I just opened a bag of Fritos. That's great, Lon. Well done.
But Larry, I think I knew Larry. I've seen Larry play. I've seen him up close. I know how big he is. Some of the other reporters, like Tupper, came up to me and goes, he's massive.
No, it's unreal.
I go, yeah.
I mean, I've never seen him. I can't imagine.
I feel like he's almost underrated as a recruit because a lot of us had him as a 3-star.
Right.
Because he's a little bit raw, but that combination of strength and physicality and athleticism is so rare. I felt he was a 4-star talent.
Yep.
I passed that on to the people at Scout, but I just don't think enough people saw him.
Okay.
He's exactly what you're looking for on the offensive line.
I know Illinois needs the depth, and they need help on the offensive line. In other words, if he played a spot, it's not just Lovey saying, I'm going to play him just to play him. Is there any kind of gamesmanship in Lovey on day one, putting him in the starting unit, kind of for recruiting purposes right now?
I think there's a big part of that.
Okay, just to say, hey, I'm not scared.
And I think it might push Adam Solomon.
Sure.
Maybe to say,
call.
hey, you don't have this job right away. We recruited this guy to play. We sold him as a 4-year starter. We're going to give him that opportunity. But that 2019 class, there are some special kids out of Trinity Catholic, where Larry Boyd's from. Isaiah Williams, a 4-star athlete that they want to play at quarterback. Marcus Washington, a 4-star wide receiver.
Wow.
And Shimon Cooper, a 4-star linebacker, all at the same school. And they want to show these guys, hey, when we recruit you and say you're going to play, we're not messing around.
No, you're going to play.
Right, you have a chance to play, and if you're good enough, you will play right away. So, yeah, I do think there's a recruiting angle to it. Larry's got to win this job.
Yeah, right.
But I'll tell you early on, I've been impressed with him.
Okay.
He's going to play against much better defensive linemen than he's playing against right now. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
And he's going to have some struggles.
Sure.
But he's got the physical tools to be special.
I'm putting you on the spot. Larry Boyd is the starter, game one.
Yes.
How does your offensive line look?
Oh, I think it's Doug Kramer, center, Gabe Megason, quick side guard, Christian DeLauro, quick side tackle, which is basically left guard, left tackle,
right.
but it can switch. Then you have Nick Allegretti, strong side guard, Larry Boyd, strong side tackle.
Wow, that's some big boys on that right side, if that's the case.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. That will be fun.
It's just if injuries happen, that's a scary proposition for that offensive
and the
line.
depth, you never know, right? There's never enough depth. Next hour, we're going to switch gears from football to basketball. Joe Henriksen, City Suburban Hoops Report. Let's ask him about some of the Illini recruiting targets and what he thinks of that. We'll also do drive time when we return. It is the Tay and J Show.
your car breaks down, you realize just how much you need it. And when it breaks down, Beaumont Alignment Plus steps up. For routine maintenance like brakes, oil changes, tune-ups, batteries, and tires, you can count on Beaumont Alignment Plus. Bigger issues including alignment, suspension work, starters, alternators, transmission requires specialists. So get to know Beaumont Alignment Plus for your vehicle repairs. With locations on Bloomington Road and Denison Drive in Champaign, you're never far from the help you need. It's good to know the quality service is still affordable at Beaumont Alignment Plus.
DP Dough is the original calzone company, and they cater all types and sizes of events, from office orders to private parties to entire visiting football teams. Everyone will be sure to enjoy something different than the same old sandwiches or pizza. DP Dough also delivers to nearly all of Champaign, Urbana, and Savoy until late at night. So give them a call or order online when you're hungry and no one else is delivering. With over 1 million calzones served since opening in 2006, DP Dough is sure to satisfy and fill you up. DP Dough, the original calzone company.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. New users claim your $50 credit to post a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. What will you do during the next market correction? At Provident, we believe a sound financial plan is the surest way to avoid panic during market volatility. Contact us today to put a plan in place for you. Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com.
Partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Escape to Legends Golf Course in Champaign for your next round of golf. This well-maintained 9-hole course sits nestled off Staley Road in Champaign. Legends hosts a top-quality range and facility to work on your game or an afternoon of family entertainment. Wanting to take your game to the next level? Legends offers club and fittings, PGA-certified lessons from Greg Flessner. Legends Golf Course. Take a swing with them off Staley Road in Champaign. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Now, Milestone. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. Celebrations at the closing bell as for the first time ever, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closes above 22,000.
It actually went over that 22,000 mark 98 times, closing at 22,016 as the Dow gained 52 points.
Fox's Nicole Petalides at the New York Stock Exchange reports that's 6 straight record closes for the Dow and 49 since the election. The White House turning its attention to immigration. President Trump announcing the RAISE Act today, which would make immigration and the distribution of green cards based more on skills than family ties.
This legislation demonstrates our compassion for struggling American families who deserve an immigration system that puts their needs first and that puts America first.
The proposal, though, already drawing fire from immigrants' rights groups. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal live with more.
Angelica Salas is the director of the Coalition for Humane Immigrants' Rights in Los Angeles.
This is a disastrous proposal. It goes against the foundational values of our nation.
The bill would grant visas and legal status based on one's ability to speak English if they have a higher-paying job and a record of achievement. It eliminates preference to family ties except for minor children and spouses.
I can't understand how the party of family values has just introduced this immigration bill.
She doubts it'll pass, but says they will oppose it and any similar legislation that's proposed in its place, Jack.
Thanks, Jessica. Criticism of the new Russia sanctions bill from both the White House and the Kremlin. President Trump warning the bill he just signed is probably unconstitutional. And Russia's Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev saying the bill amounts to an all-out trade war with Russia and says it ends any hopes for improved relations between our two countries. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
For me, it was the big S-Class from the 90s. Beautiful. My friend's dad had one.
The SL. All of the SLs. I've been watching those since I was a kid.
I think the 1971 SC was the first Mercedes that just blew me away.
Everyone wants the original, the authentic.
And with a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you can experience the iconic luxury, unparalleled safety, and performance of Mercedes-Benz at a price you can afford. But just remember, only your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer has the skilled technicians to certify that your pre-owned vehicle is up to Mercedes-Benz standards. And only your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer offers an unlimited mileage warranty, so you can drive with confidence as far as you'd like for up to 5 years. There are pre-owned vehicles, and then there are Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned vehicles. Visit the certified pre-owned sales event going on now through August 31st and receive 2 years of complimentary prepaid maintenance and special financing available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
One person is dead, another still missing in an explosion that caused part of a school to collapse in Minneapolis.
We have been able to confirm that the explosion, that the collapse was caused by a gas explosion, and that was caused by contractors who were doing work on the building.
Assistant Fire Chief Brian Tyner, the Minnehaha Christian Academy was not open for students today, but some faculty members were inside. Hundreds of people evacuated from their homes in Hindman, Pennsylvania. That's about 100 miles southeast of Pittsburgh because of an early morning train derailment and fire, including molten sulfur and petroleum products.
Thank God no one was injured in this. And I want to thank all the first responders.
Pennsylvania State Senator Wayne Langer holds they'll make an environmental assessment before allowing people back into their homes. The Pentagon says 2 U.S. service members have been killed in today's attack on a NATO convoy near Kandahar in southern Afghanistan. No identifications yet, nor any information on the number of troops wounded. Researchers say they've pulled off a genetic treatment that sounds like something out of science fiction.
For the first time in the U.S., researchers have edited the genes of an embryo to prevent a life-threatening disease. Using a gene-cutting tool called CRISPR, researchers removed a mutation responsible for a heart condition that often leads to sudden death in seemingly healthy young adults. As the embryo's cells multiplied, they repaired themselves, replicating healthy genes instead of the disease-causing mutation. The study's co-author, Shukrat Mitalipov, says it's just a matter of triggering the process, and then nature takes care of the rest.
So I've been joking that we did very little ourselves. All we have to do is tell this is the problem, and you may want to fix it.
Researchers have published their findings in the journal Nature. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
His Notre Dame football teams never had a losing season. Hall of Fame college football coach Ara Parsegian, dead at 94. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News Radio.
Jack Callahan was a heck of a hockey player.
He was.
Team
you
USA.
need somebody to put you up against the boards. He would do it. Yeah. Go protect my guy,
Did he score
Jack.
against the Soviets?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think he scored that game. I think we're talking about the wrong Jack Callahan.
I don't know. I saw Jack Callahan, I thought.
Kinda
Was
cool,
it Jack O'Callahan?
It was Jack O'Callahan, yeah.
I don't know.
He was Irish.
Making stuff up now. Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you cool all summer long. Call 866-EXPERTS or you can visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 66. Thursday, chance of thunderstorms, high 85, low of 59. Cools off on Friday. Overcast, a high of just 68, a low of 54. Right now, we got some scattered showers in the area. 81, feels like 85. Cooling off.
I got to give you some props. You ready? Jack O'Callahan was his name. He played for the Olympics.
Oh,
well done, buddy. So not Callahan, but let's see if he scored. I wonder if he scored. Played with the Blackhawks, Devils.
I knew he played in the NHL, too.
That's awesome. He was the 96th overall pick of the Blackhawks. Played it 10 years in the NHL. Look at you. Just knowing your hockey.
Yeah, I don't know if he...
What a team, man. Mike Eruzione, baby. Mike Eruzione. I'm giving you time to see if he scored.
I don't know if he did.
Okay, we're going to pass on that, though, because it's time
I'll find the box score.
Oh, yeah.
It is Drive Time, presented by Honda BMW Champaign. For new and used vehicles, visit their huge inventory at the corner of Neal and Burwash and Savoy, or you can find them online at drivechampaign.com. Lante, this is a recap, first 2 hours of the Tay and J Show.
John Lester can hit home runs.
Jack O'Callahan did not score.
Oh.
It was Schneider, Johnson, Eruzione.
Eruzione, baby. Hey, how about that? That deserves.
We started the show off talking MLB, and the Cubs are hot as heck. They are the Cubs we thought they were going to be. And we talked about how, the Quintana deal has just made sense on the mound. He's had 3 really good starts for the Cubs so far, and that's going to help them. That's obviously helped them win some games, but also the mental aspect of that. And we compared it to the team I've been frustrated with, even though I don't care about them, is the Astros.
Right.
The Astros have this talented team. They've had a great first half, but they didn't make any big moves, and Dallas Keuchel went off on his team. I shouldn't say go off, but he was very blunt in saying, we saw all these other teams make moves and we didn't. It's
frustrated, yeah.
And how that could affect not a team, because the Astros still have enough to win a World Series,
right?
But the psyche of a team. I mean, you have Dallas Keuchel who's bummed, and maybe angry at his front office. Maybe there's other guys on that team. Meanwhile, you have the Cubs who go out and get a guy like Quintana, go get Alex Avila, go get Justin Wilson. They addressed their biggest needs, and now you see that team's like, heck yes.
Yep.
Okay, we are still that team. They believe this is a year we can win the World Series again, and they're playing like they are right now. So that mental aspect of it
is huge.
The Dodgers, they've won 9 straight games. They've won 40 of 46. One of 3 teams in Major League history to win 40 of 46 in a season.
It's unreal.
And they go get Yu Darvish.
Yes.
How do you think that team feels? It's like, yeah, we're going to win the dang World Series.
Absolutely they do.
The Astros don't, and I think I worry more about what it does for them on the field, because I still think there's things they can improve, but also the mental aspect
without a
for
doubt.
the team.
And we figured out what the Cubs were 5.5 out. I mean, they've gained like 8 games on the Brewers since the All-Star break. And what's the one thing that you noticed with that team last year? As they won, they were so much more confident. Does that happen with every team? Yes. But for young kids like Baez and some of these guys, they're starting to get that feeling again. And that's why I think the Cubs, you could see them just kind of run away with things now in the NL Central.
We don't have White Sox updates anymore, right? Because they just keep losing.
I don't think we do. Austin, did you even do a White Sox update?
No.
Nobody cares.
No, it's okay.
Nobody cares.
As long as Yoel Moncada's healthy, we're fine.
If they win, put them in the update, because then Jeremy can be upset.
Yeah, I'll be angry.
You'll be angry
Stop
at that.
winning games. The Cardinals
You're
are
angry at the Cardinals.
The Cardinals, no, they're the most interesting team.
They are.
I'm not angry they didn't make a move.
Right.
It's a weird time.
It is.
As Kevin Wheeler told us in the 4 o'clock hour, they're in purgatory, and it's just, I don't think this team has enough to compete, to actually contend with the Cubs.
No.
I think they can compete.
Yeah.
They have the pitching staff to do
they
it.
do. Totally.
They do not have the defense. They do not have the hitting to win this division, in my opinion, unless the Cubs just nosedive, which I don't see happening. So they're just kind of in this waiting period of what are they going to do this offseason. And we went over some of the options with Kevin, and it's going to be really intriguing to see what direction they go. Can they find that big bat?
Right.
Is J.D. Martinez the guy they want to sign?
Yep.
Can they get Giancarlo Stanton? Would Stanton even want to come here and waive his no-trade clause? Or do they go more of a Royals route?
Right.
Build up the bullpen? I love the idea of Alex Reyes in the bullpen next year.
I do too.
Because I think your starting rotation will be strong enough, and then maybe get a better defensive team and build that way to where your offense isn't carrying you. It's your defense and pitching.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but too many second basemen, too many outfielders on this Cardinals team, and I think this offseason will show that. And if you're a Cardinals fan and you did not get a chance to hear Kevin Wheeler, he had a great breakdown on that. So make sure you podcast at ESPNCU.com, that second hour with Kevin Wheeler. I think it's interesting that I wonder how much of the trade talks the Cardinals were involved in with a guy like Stanton was also involved with off-season. In other words, saying, all right, if we can't make this deal now, how about we get back together and chat this off-season? So I wonder if there was some foundation laid for the off-season to see if the Cardinals can go out and get a bat. That's what they need. They cannot score runs right now at all.
But it felt like, you can speak on this as a Cardinals fan, Lon, you wanted kind of a direction at the deadline.
You don't have it.
You don't have it.
No, you have the same stuff.
You're going to wait till the offseason to find out what it is. I think there's going to be a lot of retooling.
I agree.
This isn't a breakdown, though. You don't break this thing down because you have a good staff. I think you have a solid base of what your offense needs to be.
Yes.
But you have a bunch of
That's right.
to above average players.
That's right.
You need some premier players.
I would love to see the Cardinals get one more run in them. One more run. Win 8 of 10. Win 9 of 10 for somehow. I don't know how they do it. They'd have to score runs. Just get a run and maybe put a scare into the Cubs or the Brewers and see what could happen. It'd be fun if they could do that. And I always say October belongs to the Cardinals, so maybe they'll get back.
Used to.
Well, used to.
We also talked a lot about Illinois football and my observations from camp. What stuck out to you, Lon, of my observations in the first hour?
Well, you talked about Chase Crouch, but also you talked about the freshmen. And the freshmen that are making an impact, and I asked you about running back. You said Mike Epstein, a kid from Florida that you really like. You think he can do some damage and get on the field?
I think he's a versatile back. He's getting a lot of playing time, a lot of reps right now because Reggie Corbin's out with a minor injury. He'll be fine. But I do think Mike Epstein can steal some reps there. Okay. I know Reggie had a really good redshirt freshman year and provided some quickness, a guy who can make people miss. And he averaged, almost 6 yards per carry.
He did.
Is a decent receiver as well. But Epstein has an extra gear that Corbin doesn't have. He's also a little bit bigger. So I do think he's a versatile, dynamic back. I really like what I see out of him. You couldn't tell that he had a torn ACL.
Okay.
He also had the surgery by Dr. James Andrews, who Mikey Dudek went to.
That's right.
So that's very encouraging on that end. But I think Mike Epstein's going to be a weapon this year.
And on the defensive line, you said there's some freshmen that could make a difference.
Well, they're going to have to.
They're going to have to,
because you don't have much depth there. There's 3 defensive linemen already working with the second group. Bobby Roundtree, Kendrick Green, a defensive tackle, and Owen Carney, a defensive end. And given that James Crawford barely has any reps at defensive end, and Sean Adesanya hasn't played a college football game yet at the Division I level, there's playing time available for Owen Carney and Bobby Roundtree. I mean, there is for the rotation, but there could be a starting job for either of those guys. So you're going to see a lot of freshmen in that rotation. They like to play 8, 9, 10 guys on the defensive line. They did it last year with Tamir Oliver.
That's right.
Also Kenyon Jackson. So they're going to play some freshmen up there, and they'll sink or swim, but they have to. They're talented, though. There are talented athletes on that defensive line that in 2 to 3 years, I think that defensive line is going to be a real strength of Illinois.
It would be great if a couple of these freshmen this year progressed the way Kenyon Jackson did last year. If that happens...
And Kenyon's fighting for a second string job right now.
That's
so
crazy.
That tells you a little bit about what they think they have at defensive line.
That's unreal. The other thing we talked about, Ricky Smalling, the freshman wide receiver that Illinois and everyone is really excited to see on the field. He's not even in town yet for training camp. And you said maybe this is more of a personal matter, family matter.
I can tell you, it's obviously scary when Ricky Smalling isn't here right now. Right? And some people outside the program thought, is Illinois going to be able to get him into school? Well, he was here for the summer, but Trenard Davis was here for the summer a couple years ago and wasn't able to enroll because he had some clearinghouse issues. Illinois seems confident that he'll get into school. He's fine there. It's more of a personal issue.
Fair enough.
It's scary that he's not here yet, but Illinois does seem to expect he will be back soon.
Okay.
So we'll see. If this goes on for another week, I think the nerves should be ratcheted up a little bit.
Okay.
But he could be here in the next couple of days. We'll have to wait and see. There's no official word yet from Illinois, but I can tell you people within the program seem to think this isn't a scary situation for
Fair
them.
enough.
It's more a personal issue.
The other thing that stood out to me, you talked about the linebacker depth. You've got Trey Watson, of course, is a kid that will start now. He's changing in positions there. Now, he's still a linebacker, but he's going from weak side more to strong side, correct?
To middle linebacker.
Middle.
Which I think fits him both physically, the way he can run, and I also think just he's a vocal leader. I think he's going to step up in that leadership role.
And who's opposite Jalen Dunlap? That's always scary when you've got a solid corner on one end and then you've got a quarterback looking over there going, well, I don't have to throw to him because I can pick on this kid all day.
Yeah, I worry about the defensive line because they're so inexperienced. They're so young. But that cornerback position, that second one, that worries me a lot because I think defenses are going to pick on that guy. Right now, Frank Sumter had a good spring.
Okay.
Can he be serviceable? I think that's his ceiling for this team right now. Then Amari Hayes, I didn't like what I saw at him. He's long, but he's skinny. He didn't play very well last year. I think Nate Hobbs and Tony Adams have a huge opportunity, the freshman. But Nate Hobbs has been sick the last couple of days. Tony Adams still recovering from that torn ACL, but he's really close to being full go.
Joe Henriksen, that's our guy. City Suburban Hoops Report. He's going to join us next as we get ready to talk Illini basketball recruiting.
That's Drive Time presented by Honda BMW of Champaign. For new and used vehicles, visit their huge inventory at the corner of Neal and Burwash and Savoy, or visit them online at drivechampaign.com.
Well, whether you just purchased your new home or you've been a homeowner for years, the experts at Busey Home Mortgage share 6 essential items for your home's to-do list. Create a budget is one of them. I'm not going to go through all 6, but some of the important ones. Create a budget. Busey's online budgeting tool, Finance Works, through eBank, can help you find ways to trim your expenses along the way. Prioritize your safety. Ensure all locks on the doors and windows work. Consider installing an alarm system for your peace of mind. Make it your own. Personalize your space to make your house a home. Be smart. about where you invest your home improvement funds to get the best home improvement bang for your buck. Check out the Expert Insights article. It's titled Best Home Improvement Bang for Your Buck. You can find that on Busey.com. Whether you need tools to budget for your home or you're looking to build, buy, or refinance, Busey Home Mortgage is here with expert advice and simplified solutions. You can visit them at BuseyMortgage.com. Member FDIC.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat. From Charlotte, here's Dari Noka.
Jamal Adams meant no harm to anybody. I wholeheartedly believe that. His comments about the football field being the perfect place to die have been ripped apart, scrutinized, criticized, and thrown right back in the Jet rookie's face. Why? Because it came as a response to a fan's question pertaining to CTE, the likely concussion-based disease that has impacted the lives of dozens, maybe hundreds of families of football players and others. Yesterday, he tried to make his comments make sense and says he was talking from a place of passion, essentially saying he'd do anything to play the game he loves. I believe him. CTE is scary serious. And you know what? So is war. So are soldiers. So are heroes. Other words thrown around in these children's games we call sports all too often. If you ask me, a football player should very rarely be a hero, and if he is, it shouldn't have a thing to do with football. And never ever should a football player or other athlete say before a game they are ready to go to war, or that they are soldiers. We've heard that before, and we should never hear it again. I get what Jamal Adams was saying. I believe his statements were intended to offend no one, but they did. Now the rookie has to learn from a mistake he didn't know he was making. In 60 seconds, we're worried about that?
With the AutoZone Rewards program, the parts and supplies you need come with a reward. So let's get excited and celebrate. Add a fist pump to that oil change. Whoop it up while you wash and wax. Finish that tune-up by giving yourself a high five. Because you're earning a $20 reward when you spend $20 5 times. So sign up online or in-store. Let's get you what you need.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Guys, get to JCPenney's biggest sale of the season. Find great brands like Levi's 502 regular fit jeans for $39.99. Or get 25% off select styles of Nike tees, shorts, shoes, and backpacks. Also, check out our great selection of men's big and tall sizes. And download the JCPenney app for even more savings. Hurry, the biggest sale of the season ends Saturday. That's getting your pennies worth. JCPenney. See store or jcp.com for details. Season refers to 6/19 to 8/5.
We're worried about glove size. Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor are now 24 days from their fight in Vegas. A boxing match, of course, not an MMA one. Two people from different sports coming together to compete in one, as if there is some real legitimacy to this outside of the incredible spectacle it's going to be. Mayweather says, okay, you know what? Since we're doing my sport, let's use the 8-ounce gloves you want to use. Seems fair. But the Nevada Athletic Commission says, no go. You'll use the 10-ouncers. Pardon me if I laugh at any attempt to make this quote-unquote fight legit. Heck, if you want, use no gloves. That might make this more interesting. It might make it more fair to McGregor, who I still believe has no shot. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Dari Noka.
The Urbana Park District presents Neighborhood Nights all summer long through August 9th. You can enjoy all kinds of fantastic local musicians, all types of music from blues to breezy pop to 70s jam to Latin jazz. This Wednesday night, August 2nd, we'll be at Prairie Park, and you can listen to the funk, hip-hop, and R&B music of New Souls from 6:30 to 8 p.m. For details on this program and other Urbana Park District activities, go to urbanaparks.org.
Check out the new BMW Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. Buyer's inspection with a buyback guarantee and seller's inspection. No surprises before closing. Owned by me, Aaron Allenbaugh, and my wife Kim, and serving all of East Central Illinois. Get more details and schedule your inspection today at aamarshall.net.
Flooring Surfaces Factory Outlet is the premier source for discount flooring in Central Illinois. Dozens of Mill Direct carpet rolls are in stock now. You can take home a new carpet today or use our professional installation service and we'll measure for free. And check out the Deal Zone, where porcelain tile is just 49 cents. Hardwood, laminate carpet, or vinyl, you'll find great discounts at Flooring Surfaces Factory Outlet, 1703 North Dunlap in Savoy.
Flooring Surfaces, the world at your feet.
Summer is here and there's no better way to swing into the season than at Willow Pond Golf Course, the most improved golf course in Central Illinois. Golf for $30 Monday through Friday with a cart, $20 after 3 p.m. Golf Saturday and Sunday with a cart for just $35 and $25 after 3 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Seniors golf Monday through Friday with a cart for just $20. Not a golfer? The 19th Hole Bar and Grill serves up great food and drink specials, live video gaming, and the Full Swing Golf Simulator. Call and schedule a tee time today at 893-9000 or willowpondgolf.com. At Jet's Pizza Champaign, we start fresh every day with the freshest ingredients. We hand make the dough, cut the vegetables, and grate the finest all-natural mozzarella cheese. Anything else wouldn't be better pizza. Order our best of Jets, a one-topping large pizza for just $11.99, and let your taste buds scream.
Let's get Jets.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkman with the 523 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. At State Farm, when home and out at work is a team, you score time and money. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood at 217-367-1105 today. Oh, it's on. We have a date for Bragging Rights 2017, and it will be held on December 23rd. That is a Saturday from the Scott Trade Center. Mark Smith and the Illini took 5 straight from the Michael Porter, Jonte Porter, and Jeremiah Tillman, Missouri-led team. Holy home runs, Batman. The Cubs offense scoring only 7 runs in Miami. The Cubs bats exploded for 16 runs in a 16-4 win over the D-backs, including 5 homers. Baez, Happ, and Big John Lester went deep once, with Anthony Rizzo homering twice. Lester also pitched 4 innings, striking out 9, and pushed him to the 2,000 strikeout mark. He is only the 25th left-hander in MLB history with 2,000 career strikeouts. The Cubs and Diamondbacks play tonight, and it's Godley versus Arrieta. First pitch is at 7:05. Listen on US 105.9. The Cardinals couldn't get past the 3-run first inning that Carlos Martinez gave up to the Brewers. The Cardinals were only able to muster up 1 run in each of the 4th and 5th innings. The two teams lock up at 7:05 and can be heard on ESPN CU 93.5. It's Luke Weaver versus Britton Suter. That's the pitching matchup. And Andrew Miller has been put on the 10-day DL.
Did you say Bruce Sutter? The guy that saved the 82 World Series. Is he starting tonight?
No, it's Brent.
Oh, Brent
Suter.
Oh, okay, that's my bad.
But hey, right teams, Brewers and Cardinals.
Yeah, that's right. Good call.
Yeah.
Struck out Gorman Thomas to win it.
Yep, Andrew Miller put on the 10-day DL, and then Tomlin has also been injured. He's out for 6 weeks.
Mike Tomlin?
No.
Oh. That Brewers win, Austin?
Yeah.
That was like World Series number 9 or something for the Cardinals? Or 10, or I've lost count.
Is that Robin Yount?
Yeah.
Hey,
yes.
I mean, but kids, this generation, that's only 2 World Series titles they can claim, so we're already halfway there as the Cubs.
I was talking to a kid the other day. He's 7 years old, and he's a Cubs fan, and they've already got a World Series.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, 95-year-old Cub fan.
Isn't that funny? I mean, it's just crazy. All right, thank you, Austin. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. You can text the Cheap Hour text line, 217-359-2255. We're working right now on a Game Day Spirit trivia, and you have a chance to win a Larry Canfor University of Illinois calendar. Really cool stuff. So hopefully here soon we will be able to have a trivia question for you. We have the interns working on it as we speak.
Yeah, I gave them a duty to see if they could figure this out. There's one beautiful picture of the State Farm Center.
It is
with
cool.
a rainbow overneath.
Yes.
When's that pot of gold going to return?
I don't know. Did you ever wish you were a photographer? Probably not.
I love taking.
I do too.
During training camp, I've been taking a bunch of pictures and putting up photo galleries at IlliniInquirer.com. Good job.
Nice.
Yeah,
well done.
No, I love doing it.
I do too.
And with a kid, I've been taking a lot of pictures. So, I think it's awesome.
I think that is cool.
Get a good camera and you can take pretty cool pictures.
And when you capture a good one, it's really cool. All right, we've talked a lot, Jeremy, of Illini football today. You kind of gave a kind of a rundown of 2 or 3 days, essentially, of training camp. It's time, though, to focus now on the 5 o'clock hour on Illini basketball.
Now let's get to the Jupiters Crossing phone line. Welcome in our buddy Joe Henriksen, City Suburban Hoops Report. We'll break down all the top in-state targets. But, Joe, that prospect list of the Chicago White Sox looks so good.
Yeah. It's now we just got to keep on losing. Just
right.
Add a number one pick next June to this group, and 2-3 years, Jeremy, we'll be texting about White Sox major league players instead of minor leaguers.
That's right.
I will come to a game with you and Joe when they get good.
We're coming hard for that number one pick. The Phillies better look out because
we can catch the Phillies. We can do it.
No problem.
We've set a good pace in this second half of the season.
I love it.
Well, Joe, this class of 2018 in the state of Illinois didn't seem like it was that strong, and I still don't know if it is, but there's a lot more kids starting to get high major offers.
Getting better, and that's just everybody. It's funny. I talk to a lot of coaches all the time, and a couple of them were like this summer, Joe, you pumped up Zion Griffin as a mid-major, and here he is in July, and he's playing like in the high major. And that's just what happens, man. You just, they're teenagers, and their developments are different. And, the Zion Griffin from Hinsdale South has moved himself up. It's funny, I was just preaching to anybody who would listen to mid-majors in the spring, early summer, and I mean, it really wasn't flying. I mean, he didn't get a whole lot, and now all of a sudden, then the first week he went nuts, and every mid-major in the world wanted him around the Midwest, and I'm a little surprised by the conversations and dialogue I've had with high major programs and coaches over the last weekend that a couple of more high majors haven't popped for him in these last few days. I think there will be. I think some of them are because he's late to the party, doing a little more homework. Checking on academics and checking out how he is as a kid, things like that. But yeah, he's a legitimate high major, guys, and obviously with the arrival of George Condit in the spring,
right?
You've got a little bit more oomph up there near the top of the class, particularly obviously with Taylor Horton Tucker and Io DeSumo, and it makes up a little bit for the drop that we've seen in the local kid down there, Tim Finke, who's had a rough July. So it's not a bumper crop, but it's a better crop of talent than really we thought 6, 7, 8 months ago.
Sure.
Yeah, Illinois has offered, Tamel Pearson as well, George Condit, and Zion Griffin. I mean, what makes him a high major prospect? I mean, what's changed and what's his skill set?
Well, he was a high major athlete to begin with, and an underrated part of him is, which I'd probably call high major, is a high major motor. He plays hard and he gets after it, and the area he lacked was his skill level. And so I had him as a mid-major four-man, throughout the winter, no-brainer mid-major four-man. In the spring, same thing. And I saw him play, a few times during the high school season. I mean, I can't say if I saw him take a 3-point shot, even attempt one. He made 5, I think, his junior year. And by the time spring rolled around, I'd see him knock one in, a little kind of funky mechanically. It would go in, but pretty clean off of his hand. So you saw a little bit of potential there, not being called a pure stretch four, but a guy who could at least step out and knock a shot down. But then over the course of the summer, 2 things happened. He raised his level of shooting, and his confidence level just soared. Those are 2 descriptions I used for Mark Smith last year after the summer played out, and then I didn't see him for months until the high school season came. And then you sat and talked with Mark Smith about that, and he talked about those 2 things. I felt more confident in my game. I put the work in. My shot improved. Zion says pretty much the same thing. I mean, I went a weekend in – I get all my weekends mixed up here in July, but the first weekend of July, went and watched them for 4 straight games. And in those 4 straight games, I think he made 18 threes. So you're talking about a kid who I didn't see shoot a three-pointer all winter to making 18 threes in a 4-game stretch in July when coaches are watching. And, he can't dribble with his right hand. He can go with he's a left-hander. He can go with his left a little bit, but he's not very polished or refined with ball handling at all, particularly with his offhand. But that's probably the easiest thing to develop and overcome and get better at from now till college, and then once he gets there. But he's become a better than average perimeter shooter, which at 6'6", he's still kind of a 4-3 to me, as opposed to a 3-4. He's probably more suited right now to be an undersized 4, but I think with his shooting ability and continued development with his ball handling, he can end up being kind of a hybrid 3-4 guy in college down the road.
That's a great breakdown. As always, Joe Hendrickson.
It sounds a little like your boy Raj.
It does, kind of. Yeah, a little Raj in there. It's funny that when Joe mentioned Mark Smith, I wonder how many years now from now, even 20, where we'll say, yeah, he's kind of like a Mark Smith who came out of nowhere. And, it'll just be that comparison always. Joe, if there's an Illini target out there that you think is ready to commit, not necessarily to Illinois, but to someone, is there one that you would kind of pencil as to say, all right, this kid will probably be making a choice soon, or is this still in a waiting game for a while for these kids?
If you would ask me that, Lon, 3-4 weeks ago, I would have probably guessed Taylor Horton Tucker.
Got it.
But now I've done a 180 on that, and I think, I'm not going to say it's head spinning, but I just think he's getting so much attention, so much new love from high major programs. Guys calling and asking whether it be me or Rob Smith or Taylor, is it too late to get in, those kind of things. And he has just skyrocketed. He's already getting high major interest and a lot of offers prior to July, but I just thought he was going to kind of maybe shut it down and narrow it down really quickly and figure it out in the summertime. But right now, I don't even know if he's capable of doing that because he's got so many new suitors that he's got to get to know now and kind of research and figure it out. I think he still will narrow it down to 4 or 5 schools fairly shortly, but that kind of takes place of narrowing it down to 1 or 2 and trying to get it done. So I thought that was going to be the one, but I no longer believe that to be true. I think it might play out a little longer than I anticipated it to. I think the Iowa DeSumo thing will play out longer. We'll see if the Finke ship has sailed or not.
Right.
George Condit still, he's just is a scholarship offer collector, and it's just
I love it.
I don't know if that's going to end anytime soon. So we saw a trend of you guys way back when now it's getting longer and longer, the DJ Richardson days and Brandon Paul and Joseph Bertrand, all those guys it was kind of a new wave of committing early and getting it done early. And now it's really over the last few years it's shifted, and for multiple reasons, that's kind of a whole other story, but I think it's shifted towards really waiting some things out. And some of these kids that we're talking about now are late bloomers, like Brian Griffin and George Condit. But no, it ain't a long-winded answer to your question, Lon, but no, I don't see anybody popping anytime soon. I'd be surprised if that happened.
Fair enough.
Tracy Abrams committed as a sophomore.
Oh, that's right.
I think he was still 18 at that point, but
and then played here for 24 years.
Yeah, that's right. Joe Hendrickson, City Suburban Hoops Report. Follow him on Twitter at Joe Hoops Report. Maybe a kid who probably would have been better off committing early, Joe, was Tim Finke.
Right.
Just a couple months ago, it seemed like Illinois was really gaining ground there, and it was like an Illinois-Vanderbilt battle, and now it seems like Tim might not have the choices he had before. What happened in that July that kind of turned everything for him, or was this kind of building up?
I thought it was building up a little bit, and I hate being critical and really hitting on this too hard because I think just what I was talking about, the positives with Zion Griffin and the Mark Smith, it does happen the other way. You lose some confidence, and I think he has a little bit of that going. And I know he was nicked up a little bit injury-wise, battling some stuff. But you lose confidence, particularly at the wrong time. It can be pretty devastating in recruiting because these guys just can't get out much to see. And July is ultra important, but he's been a high volume shooter for a while, and I thought it would continue to get better and become a little more efficient with that because he needed that. He had to be less of a high volume guy, and he was never going to be a pure shooter, but he needed to be sliding towards that way as opposed to being a high volume shooter. And it hasn't happened, and he's gone from high volume to really struggling shooting the three ball. And with his, he's a good athlete off the floor, but he's not particularly really skilled on the perimeter. So, creating for himself, creating for others, those types of things. So he's got to knock shots down, and he just shot it poorly. I think a little bit of his confidence is shot right now, which I think he'll gain some back once he gets, he's got to get this back out of his mind. And I haven't talked to him or his dad recently at all. I just believe he's just got to get back in the gym, and right. I don't know what's going to happen with his recruitment as far as the importance of high major versus mid major, things like that. Will he decide to play out his senior year and kind of regroup a little bit? And crazy things have happened with guys in the springtime, and then what you see in July and leading up to November in the signing period, because springtime schools are out looking for certain niches and specific things.
Right.
And not that they'll be reaching, but he could kind of reestablish himself a little bit with a great, strong senior year. And I don't know if that'll happen or not. That could be something that could materialize, but it's strictly that shooting thing that I talked about.
Yeah, Joe, the two big men, in-state big men that Illinois have offered are pretty different players. Tamel Pearson seems like he's not the tallest guy, but hardworking, tough, gets you rebounds. And then you got this George Condit, this wiry, long, 7'2" wingspan. That's not even close to a finished product, but he's skilled, not as tough on the interior. How would you kind of compare the two? Which do you think is more high major like?
That's a good question, and you explain it pretty well as far as who they are. They are completely different. I mean, Tamel's more of a junkyard dog, high motor, plays tough, does some dirty work, takes charges, loose balls, gets on the glass, competes defensively, and offensively it's coming along. And I think he showed a little bit. I was not at the Peach Jam when he showed a lot of offensive ability. I saw him up in Milwaukee the following weekend. He struggled a little bit offensively. And, he picked up those offers after the Peach Jam where he was knocking down some face-up jumpers, even stretching out to the three-point line, which I really hadn't seen much of in his career up to that point.
Right.
But he was always a kid that you were always intrigued with because of his size, his heart, his constant energy. And, I just think Condit has an enormous upside, and I've been talking. If there's any kid I've talked about more to coaches because they didn't know who he was, it's George Condit over the last 4 months, and I've kind of stayed true to what I've told them, and I think he's a redshirt freshman. I think you may have to wait after his redshirt year, when he is a redshirt freshman. I think he's going to maybe have to wait that year and keep playing through some things.
Right.
Practice-wise, strength conditioning, adding some weight and strength. And then by the time, 3 years out when he's a sophomore, third-year sophomore, fourth-year junior, then you're talking about a kid who could be a legit 6'11", with an enormous wingspan, add 15. He's never going to add a ton of pounds to his body frame, but, he'll add actually 15 pounds easily over time, and if not a little more. And now you're talking about it's scary to think what he could be in 3 years because he is too skilled, too coordinated, and too tall not to be a high major. It's just I think you really got to wait on him and be patient, and that that eliminates a lot of programs out there at the high major level because some people need a big man to come in right away and play minutes as a freshman. Some, their jobs are on the line. They can't wait 3 years.
Good call.
So to me, it's two types of programs take a George Condit. One, newly hired staff that has no pressure. They want to win, but not a ton of pressure to win right away. And then an established program who's loaded and can just stash them away for a couple of years and not even have to worry about them, just work with them develop-wise. and then you have them in 3 years. But those other types of programs that aren't like those two are going to be hard to pull the trigger on him.
Yeah, well said. Joe Henriksen, City Suburban Hoops Report. Follow him on Twitter. You want to follow Joe on Twitter. It's at Joe Hoops Report. Always great to catch up, Joe. Keep the losing continuing on the south side, my friend.
Hey, I don't think there'll be a problem with that. And hey, I will say, guys, I know the news you guys had were a little bit of a breakup with you guys, but going your own ways, and it all worked out great for you. But I just want to say, as a tandem partner, I do a lot of different radio shows in bigger markets, smaller markets, whatever. And I'm not just because I'm talking to you, but it is probably my favorite show to go on with the questions, the conversation, the background information you guys have. And I just think Illinois fans are really blessed. I don't know if they know if they're blessed, but to have you guys as a tandem for these years and be able to continue to hear you guys in the future, they should really appreciate that and take advantage of it, because you guys do an unbelievable job, and it's been a lot of fun being on your show.
Joe,
Joe, you didn't need to say that. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I was going to say the check's in the mail, but that's cliche. So which one of us gets you in the divorce?
Yeah, right. We're figuring this out.
We're splitting up guests in the divorce. Got to split up the assets.
Probably with the content-heavy Jeremy Warner show, I bet you get Joe.
You can hop on both of ours.
Yeah, what the heck?
Get one on the weekends.
We'll sit down, figure it out with mediation, and
Joe's got dollar signs in his mind right now. Like, let's see who wants me the most. Joe, that was very, very nice of you to say. That means a lot. I hope you know that. And it's been so fun to get to know you through the years too, and have you come on our show. And I know we say it every time when Joe Henriksen's on. Our podcast hits are incredible. So, Joe, thank you so much for the kind words.
Thanks, guys, and enjoy your last few weeks. Days?
Yeah. About a week?
Yeah, we really don't make eye contact anymore.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you both sometime during the future.
Right. There you go,
Thanks,
buddy.
Joe.
Thank you very much. Joe Henriksen, City Suburban Hoops Report. Follow him on Twitter at Joe Hoops Report.
That was awesome.
Means a lot.
Yeah.
Means a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. It means a lot. That's cool. A lot of information there, and we didn't even bring up Io.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of guys.
Because he's really, really good.
Yes.
I think Illinois is definitely entrenched there with Xavier.
Yes. Can I say something about Zion? What's his name?
Zion Griffin out of Hinsdale.
Okay, here's what bugs me about him. He sounds like a high school.
Zion Griffin?
Yeah, so I think
the Zion Griffins?
Yeah, the first time I heard his name, I'm like, well, what's his name? And he's like, well, Zion Griffin. I'm like, no, I get where he plays. What is his name? I mean, it's like the Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin and Zion Lutheran or something. It just sounds like a name.
All right, we are giving away the Larry Canfor University of Illinois calendar right now.
You got it prominently displayed right now
to
on
the
YouTube.
first texter who answers this question correctly. Now, we were talking about offensive linemen who could start as a true freshman. Larry Boyd has a chance to do that.
Right.
So we have two answers. You can give us two answers.
Okay.
Give us one of the two leading. I gotta word this right.
Dallas Hinkhausen.
No, it was not Dallas Hinkhausen. Okay.
Was that his name?
One of the top two leaders in career starts for an Illinois offensive lineman.
Ooh.
Name one of the top two career leaders for starts for an Illinois offensive lineman. Text to 217-359-2255. That's 359-2255. Name one of the top two career leaders in starts for an Illinois offensive lineman. This means they had to play a lot as a freshman.
Yes, absolutely. And it is not Dallas Hinkhausen.
No.
It is the Tay and J Show.
Are you looking for a new home or planning to refinance your existing home? Hi, this is Todd Duracon from First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, getting you and your home faster with loan closings in 30 days. Mortgage loans and refinancing that's fast, friendly, and local. We invite you to visit our experienced team of mortgage experts to find out how First Federal Savings Bank can help you with your loan closing in 30 days. For more information, visit 356bank.com. First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Get what you want out of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You're Career Law Enforcement Official of the Month. It's Devin Watkins, Deputy, Champaign County Sheriff's Department. Why do you love your job?
I love it because we get to deal with people on their not so good days, and we get to help them out and make their days just a little bit better if we can in some situations. I love seeing the smile on kids' face when I drive down the street, because I know I have stickers and coloring books, and they're always shouting at me because I want some of those. I do enjoy getting involved with other people. Everybody has a story, and the fact that I get to be a part of that and kind of see bits and pieces of everybody's story, it's rewarding.
Because the perception of the overbearing cop that's just out there eating donuts is so ridiculous. We hear your story, we hear every month a different story, and I understand that you're being handpicked as somebody who is exceptional. Brought to you by SK Exteriors, their website, callsktoday.com.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, Jay, did I miss out? Have the rates gone up? The answer is no. Rates are still low, and it's a perfect time to refinance your home, especially if your mortgage rate is higher than 4.25%. If you'd like to lower your interest rate and save thousands of dollars in interest without starting over on a new 30-year loan, a Quicken Loans Yorgage is what you're looking for. With our exclusive Yorgage, you can choose a term that works best for you, anywhere from 8 to 30 years. The rate today on an 8-year Yorgage is 3.25%. APR 3.75%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 3rd year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Your business is our business. From appropriate lending strategies to retirement plans for employees, Busey will help navigate your financial challenges. With experience working with a variety of industries, Busey has innovative ideas and proactive solutions to help meet your needs and reach your goals. For a top partner for your bottom line, call 1-800-67-BUSEY or visit Busey.com. Busey, your dream, our promise. Member FDIC.
328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. 328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 328-2424. Tapman's Towing. 24 hours every day. Tapman's Towing. We have pull and we're hooked on you. Tapman's Towing.
Why drive to Key West when you can enjoy the new Tiki Bar and Patio at Daly's Sports Bar, 116 West Washington Street in Philo. With 9 flat-screen TVs and the MLB package, you can take in your favorite team's action live. Daily drink specials Wednesday through Friday evening from 5 to 9 p.m. Enjoy the Daly's Outback Food Wagon on the patio featuring special burgers, sandwiches, shrimp baskets, fried and grilled cod, nachos, tacos, and cheesy fries. Now through August 25th, enter to win a trip to Las Vegas with $100 cash drawings every Friday. There's no purchase necessary to enter and win. Co-sponsored by XL Entertainment, Illinois' most chosen terminal operator. Play slots and win some cash at Daly's, featuring the latest and hottest slots. Come in and play slots, have a blast, some great food and drinks, and hit the jackpot. Be sure and enter for your chance to go to Vegas now through August 25th with $100 cash drawings every Friday at Daily Sports Bar, 116 West Washington in the heart of Philo. Must be 21 or older to play slots. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We are the Fighting Illini. We respect our past, but we represent the future. And now is the time to fight. We're gonna get knocked down, but we will always fight. We will always be the Fighting Illini. Hail to the Orange. Score with the Touchdown Mobile Pass and get seats for all 7 Fighting Illini football home games for only $99. Call 1-866-ILLINI-1 or visit fightingillini.com today.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Caleb King from Urbana, our winner of the Larry Canfor University of Illinois calendar.
We asked for one of the top 2 career start leaders for Illinois offensive linemen because Larry Boyd could threaten that or maybe surpass it if they get to bowl games.
Right.
There are actually two guys tied for first and another guy for second, but the two first answers we got were the guys tied for first. And that is Tim Simpson.
Okay.
Was one of them, but Caleb got Ryan McDonald.
Wow.
Was another one of them. Jeff Allen had 46 career starts.
Okay.
That's tied, I guess, third.
How cool
in Illinois history. But yeah, I mean that's impressive. Even if you're a redshirt freshman,
yes,
to start that many games your first year on the field.
That's good stuff. So congratulations again to Caleb King. He gets the University of Illinois calendar.
So you were just having a dad moment.
I was.
You've never had a daughter. That's that we know of.
No, right. Nobody. I'm not paying anybody. I'll put it that way. I have no bills that include a daughter.
But you and Maddie were having a nice moment.
We did. We played a little catch.
You had a catch.
She's become the catch person for me. Like, we'll go out in the hallway every once in a while. I got to get away from all the testosterone that is the other 6 male interns.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Maddie, you want to go throw the football? So her and I have kind of gotten
jumps
this
at the
thing.
chance to get away
She
from
does.
all those
and
dudes.
she's got a rocket from Coal City. Maddie, do you even enjoy the catches?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you have a wicked underhand throw.
Wow, doing a little fast bit. Well, your gun though is solid. I do, Jeremy. I feel like our daughter is leaving for college.
I know, but they play a lot of football in Coal City.
Yeah, they do.
So I'm sure she's been to a lot of tailgates and done that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Maddie, last day at the Tay and J Show, are you feeling emotional?
Yeah, I'm really emotional. It's hard to handle.
She laughs.
What did you learn at the Tay and J Show?
I learned that you always want to use kid Band-Aids because they stick better.
Bam!
That's the most important thing she took from this internship.
Life lessons is what she took from this show.
Did you learn anything about radio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did?
What are those things?
What did you learn about radio?
I mean, I made a lot of podcasts.
There you go. You know what?
You made 2?
She made 2.
Okay. You are in a room now with 6, I'm going to call them boys.
Yeah.
How is that to handle?
Oh, my goodness.
It was easy. They're easy to get along with.
I don't think people understand like the dynamic every day when she walks in and there's 6 other guys sitting in this room and she has to. Did you ever get a word in?
Yeah.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
I like to argue sometimes.
Oh, boy. That's not good. All right, Maddie. Well, listen, it's been fun having you along, and we appreciate all your help.
Thank you.
And you made cookies yesterday, which was awesome. Are you actually...
Full house cookie dough.
Now,
I don't bake.
Okay, here's the one thing people don't know about Maddie. I don't think I've ever told her goodbye. Because when we sign off, she is... I see her before Fox...
I mean, she's got a good work ethic here.
She does.
But when it's 6 o'clock...
She's ready. I mean, when the bell rings, by the time ESPN is played at the top of the hour, I see her driving up to the stoplight. And I'm like trying to wave at her.
You know what she's good at? Delegating.
Yes, she is.
Guys, go podcasting.
So, Maddie, can you do us a favor today and just tell Jeremy and I goodbye?
Yes, I will.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, Maddie, thank you.
Thanks,
we
Maddie.
appreciate it. Maddie's from Coal City. She is going to be a junior.
An
at the University
Interstate
of
8
Illinois.
rival of Peatone.
Ooh, is
My
that
alma
so?
mater. Yeah, they kicked our butt a lot.
Oh, they did?
So, yeah,
Coal City's always had good football
good
teams,
football.
haven't they?
Them and Wilmington.
Yeah.
Big-time rivals right there.
Wilmington.
And they all beat up on Reed Custer.
Oh, Reed Custer had a really good basketball team, didn't they? Not about 8 years ago?
They got the nuclear power plant there.
Oh.
So their facilities are unbelievable.
So then now you got illegal recruiting going on. They're bringing in people whose
Wasn't
dads
saying
work
that.
at nuclear power plants.
If they're doing that, they're not doing very well because they haven't been very good. But neither is Peatone, so I can't really
That's
talk
awesome.
smack. Hey, thanks to our guests today, Kevin Wheeler, 101 ESPN, and Joe Hendrickson, City Suburban Hoops Report. Thanks to our 7 interns.
Oh, my
I'm not going to name any of the other ones.
You've got a minute left, and I figured you needed it.
Oh, okay. Harry Black.
Okay.
Austin Birkeland.
Got it.
Jack Long.
Right.
Nathan DeHaan.
Right.
David Morrow.
Okay.
Trevor Felice.
Wow.
And Maddie Bunn.
How in the world did you just pull that off?
I try
did
to
you pull that
learn
off?
our interns' names.
Yeah, and I'm lucky to know. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Tomorrow, 1:20 start, I believe, to Cardinal baseball.
Okay.
So we're going to be on a little late, and you're gone, right? You're doing.
I mean, if they don't get on until 5 o'clock,
that's
I
true.
can just hop over here.
Well, come on over. I can handle the
Let
show
me know-
for a
let
while.
me know how the
Okay.
game's going.
So you might hear Jeremy tomorrow. You
Maybe.
might have Carp tomorrow, but I will be here.
Okay.
Okay. That's the one.
Sounds
thing.
like a plan.
That's perfect for me. All right, everybody, have a great night. It is the Tay and J Show.
is where the art is. It's where every day begins and ends. It's a place for big occasions and small. Home is where stories unfold and where they are told. We may leave, but we always come home again. First Financial Bank can help you achieve the home of your dreams. Talk with one of our friendly loan officers and we'll help you find the loan that's right for you. Consider it our way of saying welcome home. From First Financial Bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
It's Lon Tay from ESPN 93.5, and whenever I need work done on my car, I go to Long's Garage. No, not Lon's Garage, Long's Garage in Urbana on Main Street, just east of Schnucks. From engines and brakes to new tires, you can get a variety of auto maintenance assistance from the experts at Long's Garage Complete Auto Service. And this summer, beat the heat and come into Long's Garage for an AC check. Since 1941, Long's Garage has offered expert repair services. Visit them today at 503 East Main Street in Urbana, just east of Schnucks.
Need an oil change? See your Champaign CarX man. Right now at CarX Tire and Auto, get a full-service oil change starting at $24.99 with tire rotation and brake inspection. From oil changes to engine repair and everything in between, CarX Tire and Auto's been serving Champaign for almost 40 years with 3 convenient locations. Your Champaign CarX man has the right oil for your vehicle at a great price, $24.99. Stop in, call, or schedule online at CarX.com.
Don't worry, call the CarX man.
We alarm our houses, and we alarm our cars. But when it comes to your personal information, it can be tough to know when something isn't right. That's where Discover Card can help. Now, we'll send you an alert if we find your social security number on any one of thousands of risky websites. And this service is free for card members. Just sign up online. It's our way of looking out for you, not just your account. Learn more at discover.com/free alerts. Limitations apply.
Hi, I'm Damon Hackelman, owner of CleanRite in Champaign. If you're looking for a trusted restoration service company, just look for the guys in the blue trucks. At CleanRite, we understand that life happens, and we're ready to help. Our experienced service technicians will provide you with not only a quick response, but also honest answers and advice. For water, fire, smoke, or mold restoration, we're there when you need us. Call CleanRite today at 351-4930. That's 351-4930. Or just Google CleanRite Champaign.
Game Day Spirit, the official fan store of the Fighting Illini, is now open at their new location at 1602 South Neal Street in Champaign. Stop in and check brand new styles at the corner of Neal and Kirby across from McDonald's. Game Day has new looks to head back to school for the men, women, juniors, and youth. Plus, Game Day Spirit has a huge selection of buy one, get one free Illini shirts for the whole family. Shop Game Day Spirit on Green Street at their new location at 1602 South Neal and online at GameDaySpirit.com. Go Illini.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.